Hello, and welcome to High Rollers, the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign here on the Yogscast Twitch. I am your Dungeon Master, Mark Sherlock Holmes. And joining me this week, we have Tom Hazel.
Hello.
We have Kim.
Hello.
We have Chris Trott. And we have a special guest joining us, Mr. Alex Smith from Hat Films is finally here.
Well, he fucking did it. He made it.
He's finally here.
Did it. Only took us months and months and months.
But you're here now.
Okay.
Obviously, sadly, couldn't join us today. We're going to carry on with Smith here.
Right here.
I said Katie can't join us today, but we did manage to pull in Smith so that we weren't down on numbers.
Hello.
So we're going to continue playing.
I'm going to be playing a giant.
But we've tied him into the narrative, so it will be seamless, a seamless inclusion.
Even
Super
now.
seamless. And I'm like, yes, I know that.
Just nod and smile.
Right.
Couple of quick announcements to do before we crack on with the recap and today's game. So the first one is do check out the Yogscast Store Spring Sale. We've got a number of High Rollers items on there at the moment. So you've got
Sale.
dice, posters, shirts, all sorts of things going on there. Speaking of shirts, keep your eye on the Yogscast store and the High Rollers Twitter this week because we have a new shirt. Tom, why don't you show them?
We have a new shirt.
It's a new shirt.
There
It's
it is.
based on the poster art that everyone loved.
I'm gonna zoom that in.
So it's got the four
I'm gonna do
characters.
this.
I don't love it.
Close up on that.
Shut up there.
New shirt.
That good old lighting there.
Oh,
So it's got the four characters in a cool comic panel done by Nina, as always.
You're really not doing it justice there.
Wow.
There will be nicer images on the store, and it's very cool.
Wow.
Don't play with
That's the
camera.
zoom.
Wow.
Why did it change the...
Fuck it.
Oh, great.
Sam, can you
2
just
hours
come
to
back
set
to
up.
the overlay
2
so you can
hours.
figure this out? Right, so that's going to be coming up soon, so that should be available to buy on the store next week. God damn it. So you can check that out. But yeah, loads of other items are on sale as well, so if you want to do that. Don't forget, if you are in Americas or anywhere in the world, if you order £80 or more, it is free shipping. So do a big old order, and then you don't have to worry about shipping costs. A couple of other things. Don't forget to check out the Stream of Many Eyes, a special Wizards of the Coast D&D event in Los Angeles. It's being streamed on twitch.tv/D&D. That's June 1st to the 3rd. And if you want to come along and see me DM a live D&D game, get yourself a bag of exclusive D&D swag and a tour of Waterdeep,
Wow.
Forgotten Realms City. You can actually buy a ticket using the link. Hopefully we can get the link in chat. And you can come along, you can buy a ticket, and you get a cool exclusive event.
Sorry,
I'll be there.
A tour of Waterdeep.
A tour of
How the
Waterdeep.
hell are they going to do that?
That's
place.
why you need
Come
to
along
buy a
and
ticket and
find
come and
out.
find out. Thanks, Alex Smith.
Jeez, that sounds
The whole place has been
remade,
recreated.
Yes.
like Disneyland.
You'll get to meet loads of other D&D streamers and loads of other cool people going along as well. You're going to have Critical Role, you're going to have Maze Arcana, Girls Guts Glory, Force Grey,
DCA.
DCA. Loads of people are going to be there. It's going to be really awesome.
Like Mark Humes, biggest
Like
celeb there.
Who?
This guy right here. And so you should check that out. And then the last thing, which is a bit of promotion for another stream that I've been doing. If you'd like to see me as a player in an RPG, don't forget to check out Far Verona on twitch.tv/itmejp. That's on Wednesdays. It's 9 p.m. BST. I am playing the anime mech pilot I've always wanted to be. It's true. I am literally playing an anime mech pilot. It's really good. It's with Ammunition, Gassy Mexican, Adam Coble, and the Bronze Girl Games. It's really, really fun. We had a really cool first episode, which is available on
Did
YouTube.
very well as well.
Did very well.
Well done, Mark.
Thank
It's
you.
all on you. I think.
Thanks, Chris Trey. It was all on me. Like,
That's a big boy.
fuck Adam.
He brought
didn't
all
do
of High
anything.
Rollers with him.
It's a really, really cool, and it's actually got a bit of audience interaction. You can join the different sci-fi noble houses, and they've got stuff going on. It's really cool. Just check it out.
Can I be an anime mech girl too?
If you want to, yeah. Join House Fornax.
Can't wait.
Just got to send an upskirt to House Fortnite.
I knew it.
And then you can do it.
Classic
Right.
sci-fi.
Was there anything else I've missed?
No. I think it's recap time.
I think you nailed it.
Oh, dice. These
Lightfall
dice, these sexy gold dice, they are being restocked.
I actually left that one out. No, I left it for you.
Coming soon. I can't give you an exact date, but it will be on the store soon.
Fucking spin down.
And we will
Don't.
tweet
That
about
spin down
it
got you a
when
19.
they're ready.
The fuck is a spin down?
It's like a life counter. It's not like a.
But they're
randomized
perfectly balanced,
basis.
so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And if we do more metal dice in the future, they won't be spin down. So,
But yeah, these
recap.
will be back on the store soon.
They'll be back on the store soon. So, a little recap. This will probably be of quite useful information for Alex Smith, who doesn't watch High Rollers and doesn't know what's been
I
going
did
on.
offer to watch,
No,
and then
you
you were
did.
like, no,
You
don't
did.
worry
No,
about
it's
it.
fine.
It's
2
awful.
years worth, mate.
Say it's garbage, you don't know what's
Terrible.
that.
So, brief recap. Having beaten their main enemy, the Broken Sky, and the Cloud Princess Falania. The party have helped save the city of Telesval. You explored the rest of Falania's Cloud Giant Castle, which floated above the Grand City.
You said cloud or cow giant?
I said cloud.
This is going to throw me off. So where are the giant cows?
Cloud Giant. Raynar discovered a treasure vault and solved a riddle to get inside, of which there was many coins and some magic items.
A lot of coins.
There was a
Lots
lot.
of coins.
Ilora and Jiutou discovered a legendary font of arcane power that seemed to contain the memories of centuries of giants and spell knowledge. Using her Frost Giant belt, Ilora attempted to use the font, but was subjected to a flood of magical essence that transformed her into a giant herself. Returning to the city proper, the party discovered the true extent of the damage to Talisval. Repairs were going to cost millions of gold, and many citizens were left without homes or ways to make income. There were many casualties in the military. However, civilian deaths had been kept to a minimum by your brave actions. However, sadly, there were several deaths still to deal with. Cassandra, your Frost Giant friend Sferia, Barris, there was also Baltir, Reynard's brother, and soon an alchemist
hard
friend.
one.
Your brother died.
My brother died.
Yep.
Being unable
Back
not
thing.
having the funds and resources to resurrect everybody, and also feeling that there was a certain unfairness to it, as many had lost their lives.
And choosing.
You had chose to resurrect Cassandra, a paladin of Bahamut, who had given her life fighting down Thunderfang the dragon. She returned in good health thanks to some sacrifices of magic items, but was slightly younger, very similar to when Jiutou was resurrected. Ilora's transformation was eventually reversed after Lady Amaryllis besieged Bahamut with a divine intervention.
Tried really hard.
Pam tried really hard.
7
but
days
Avantra
of
was not
trying.
listening, and then Lady Amaryllis does it in one. And then finally, before we closed off the session, Adrik, your friend and champion of Talisval, an exile from the desert kingdom of Bresseras, approached you with dire news. Bresseras, his homeland, was preparing an invasion of the Dawn Republic. Their armies far too strong and powerful to be repelled in such a weakened state. The only way, he believes, to stop it would be for you to go back to his kingdom, slay his evil twin brother Korak, for him to take his rightful place on the throne, and then command the armies.
Yeah, you'll need to write that one down.
You know, I've told him who Adrik is.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that.
And I've told him who Korak is.
Yeah.
So, Smith is actually more aware of the stuff in Bresseras than you guys, so hopefully it should be fine.
Good.
The morning is, for the first time in months, clear and bright. No clouds hover over the city. It is the beginning of summer, and a light breeze winds its way through the city, bringing with it the scent of fresh flowers and clean air for the first time in what feels like days. Work has begun on Talisval to clear away the debris, to clear away the dead, to make sure they are buried and properly interred. And people have begun to deal with now the aftermath of the siege and the terrible destruction laid down by the Broken Sky and their giant allies. The Guild of Masons in particular has plans and has begun construction on a large memorial in the very center beside Champion's Hold, which with the names of all of the fallen written upon it. And many of the citizens that were left without homes have now made their way to Greybell after the suggestion of the party, and particularly the Ferrohorn family, to go and occupy Greybell and to begin clearing that out and to use that as a new settlement for people that had lost their homes, which does ease the burden of cost on Talisval to look after them.
How many people went?
There was approximately about 4,000 people left without homes and jobs. So about 4,000 people have basically, with armed escort provided by the Unbroken Empire, have made their way to Greybell and are now beginning to kind of look after that and clear it out.
Nice.
A large number of clerics also went to purge any undead essences that were left over. One thing which will, obviously because she's not here, we'll just kind of say this. You are basically approached by Laura's parents and Leastry. They tell you that whilst the elves have been away from their spires and dealing with Talisval, an archfey by the name of Oberon has been mounting an offensive against the kind of gateways between the material plane and the Feywild.
It's all happening.
Because of this, the elves have to pull back their support from Talisval, which is in a good shape now. There's no immediate threat. But Elora and her parents speak for a long time, speaking with the Leastry, and her skills as such a powerful druid, she is needed there to help basically seal off these entryways and prevent Oberon. Elora speaks at length with Jiutou to make sure that she is okay with her not being there, But her mother gives you a bracelet made of entwined vines and flowers, and basically says she'll be able to transport via plants to get back to you when she needs to if things get resolved.
Oh, nice.
So
Cool.
it basically gives her a way to just come back to you guys instantly if need be.
Just appear on my wrist.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, Laura, I choose you.
But it's kind of like you would basically. Elora's mother tells you that it will pulse. You'll feel it pulse when she begins to cast it, so you can be prepared for her arrival.
Cool.
There is many hugs and wishes of good luck before the elves basically have to leave, ready to mount this offensive back. And in the morning, unless you have other things you wish to do, Adrik calls you to a meeting in Champion's Hold in his new office.
I'll go straight there. I'm going to wake up early.
You're gonna wake up early.
I know.
Okay, you
'Cause I
wait.
didn't sleep.
And are you staying in the Temple of Bahamut again? I'm assuming the three of you.
Yeah.
Is where you've
Guessing
kind of been
Finney's
staying.
Tavern is.
It's gone. Like it was destroyed
Oh,
in
man.
Journeyman's Way.
That's Finney.
Finney is alive. He's shaken. Obviously, the death of Soon has been quite, upsetting for him. But he is alive, and he is. Whilst he is no longer a member of the council, he is working very closely with the guilds, and he's kind of lending his aid. He's mainly bringing beer for a lot of people. Like he's kind of emptying out his supplies and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just generally trying to kind of provide a morale for the council.
Where are they keeping Cassandra right now?
Cassandra is at the temple, so because you resurrected her quite early on, she has now gotten used to her slightly younger self. She's about 16, 17 now, but she is back to training. She is fine. She's very grateful. But
I think I'm going to keep my distance. if I'm
Okay.
honest. I'm
Yeah.
gonna,
you actually, Morella and Cassandra spend a lot of time talking. Morella, Cassandra explaining some of the Lightborn elements to her and kind of explaining what it means and things like that. So those two spend a bit of time together.
Has there been any reaction to Cass being brought back?
Everyone seems the priests and the squires and paladins are all very happy. Amaryllis and in particular spent a lot of time with her, making sure that she's kind of okay and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all so far. The city is recovering. Everybody in the city is in this kind of. They've kind of gotten over their grief, they've gotten over their loss, and now it is, we need to get back to work. Yeah. And so a lot of people see things like scaffolding being built around the ruined parts of the city, buildings being torn down, like ruined buildings being torn down so their stone can be reused, and things being cleared out as best they can.
What about the council themselves? Because I think last time we spoke to them, they were super fractured.
Yes, well, the kind of the disaster really has forced another kind of, not necessarily change, but a lot of the ones who were not prepared for this have stepped down and have allowed younger, more sort of ambitious and determined members to take their place.
Okay.
Moira is very much still kind of running the council and making sure it's organized, and she has a much more stronger respect for the group of you. Your actions in defending the city and the way that you kind of accepted her apologies and things like that has kind of lent a lot. She's come to you for advice on many things. You have a suite in Champion's Hold reinstated in your name.
Yay!
Basically giving you...
what flavor is it?
That guy.
How many hours?
I guess Papa Ferrahorn's retired as well.
He has, and following suggestions, Arthur is now taking his place as the council head, and is providing a much-needed bureaucratic and organised kind of mind to that group.
That's all boring.
Felix has gone to Greybell. He's actually leading things in Greybell. You probably hear a letter from him at the very end of the week saying that they have begun clearing out the bodies. It's not very pleasant work, but people are happy to have somewhere that they can go to, and they kind of see it as almost like they're going to clear out the dead there, and then this is going to become their home. So,
okay, and
What about that banner you had commissioned with Anaran?
you can have a banner, that he can take that with him if he
yeah,
wishes.
I wanted him to take that with him. Just
I'd probably feel like Enoran might actually go with them to provide furnishings and things like that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because he's lost his shop and everything in the city, so he kind of wants to start fresh too.
I guess Felton's okay. I've got a lot of family to check up on.
Yeah, no, Felton is fine. Alfred has
got
definitely become worse in his illness.
Yeah.
Alfred Bluevice, the wizard that you guys had met, he has become much iller, and so Felton is actually taking over a lot of his responsibilities, relaying messages, that sort of thing.
And Baltir, he's just round the corner, right? No, why?
I would have imagined that there would have been a nice ceremony
that your
with
brother?
your family.
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine there was quite a nice ceremony. He's given a
Yeah.
very quite a lavish mausoleum
I found
in
his
Whispers Walk.
axe.
Isn't
I
this
just-
like wartime though?
It's after wartime now.
His family are loaded.
Yeah, his family are loaded. They're one of the
Not the
richer
shallow
families.
grave kind of people. Okay.
No,
I
a nice
would-
Tip it
mausoleum.
into a river somewhere.
There he goes! They realise he's going
attendant.
straight to the middle of the city.
Yeah, Jiutou
That's
will
my
attend
brother.
the-
Almost everybody does. Like out of your allies, a lot of people attend the funeral.
Stuck in a drain grave somewhere.
Stop ruining it.
Pleasure to have you here.
Yeah. No. So yeah, there is a nice ceremony for Baltier. I think it is. Carries on. You can't get the image out of your head now, can you? That's the problem.
This is a very serious D&D playthrough.
Anyway,
Come out with the broom.
Just try and jab him through the grave.
Oh, his arms come off.
He's
Stop him
really
through the
big as
grave.
well. He's like a hench dude.
He's huge, yeah.
Sorry.
that doesn't happen.
Sorry, it's a very
there
painful
is-
time for you.
Anyway,
But yes, there's a nice ceremony.
there's a nice
etc.
ceremony. I rest his axe with him, his woodcutting axe, and then just have a big old cry.
Just don't look at it. Don't look at it. Everyone ignore him. He's not
Stop
here.
talking about
Get
your
under the
brother.
table.
All right,
No.
we have a ceremony, that's it.
Right, okay.
But generally, the city is beginning to heal.
Oh, God.
You make your way to Adrik's office. Lady Amaryllis comes with you. She has also been requested to this meeting.
Interesting.
And when you arrive at Champion's Hold to it being busy. You are led via the guards. I'm assuming at some point you check up on Dermot as well. He has lost the use of his legs, but he is alive. And he is now kind of basically providing support in a sort of like more organizational sense. Some of the other commanders, younger commanders that served under him have taken on authority. But you are led to Adrik's offices, this kind of very plain, unfurnished desk chair, couple of chairs for guests. That's really it, a small shrine to Bahamut. You are led there. When you step inside, Trixiana, the woman with the white hair, this kind of illusionist mage that you've kind of met along your things, has also been there. She seems to be like reading through several books and things like that. And Adrik gestures you in. He's like, yes, my friends, please come in, please. Shut the door behind you if you wouldn't mind, Mr. Ferrohorn. Shut the door. And then he
Pointless
gestures.
RP.
He gestures to the chairs, and you take a seat, and he's just like, I informed you of the ongoings in Bresseras. I believe that it is time that we leave Talis Val.
Open the window. Sorry.
He wants to open a window.
You want to open a window? There is a window in here. Can you go over and open it?
I'm going to open the window. It's open now.
It gets stuck a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's like one of those really old sash windows. Like,
I go over and help him.
Okay.
What's wrong with you guys?
This is Tom.
Pointless RP closing the
Maybe give me a second and it won't be fucking pointless, you son of a bitch.
I close the door, he opens a window.
Right. At this point, Adrik gestures, I believe that we should be making haste. My informant in Bresseras has been giving me more information. I would like to introduce him to you. And he gestures to a corner that you had previously was shadowed when you closed the door.
Oh.
And there hadn't been anybody previously.
Because the window's open, there's a nice breeze on it.
Yeah, now I can see him.
And stepping out of the shadows, Smith, you want to describe what you look like?
yeah, sure. So I am, or this character is a Dragonborn as well, and he's quite slight for a Dragonborn. He's not like huge. Still has some of that sort of Dragonborn innate strength, but
More lizardy.
as far as you've seen, yeah, he's more of like a not overly tall, not overly bulky sort of thing, but still very much has some
More
of the strength.
Argonian than Dragonborn.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to describe it. One thing you might notice, for the more observant of you, is this Dragonborn is missing their tail.
Oh.
Doesn't have a tail, or at least he has what's left of a tail.
Stitch like stump.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll grow back.
Do you want me to describe coming out of like where I am?
Yeah, well, I'm guessing like you kind of step out of the shadows.
Step out
right?
of
How
a
does
shadow.
that look?
Literally step out of a shadow. So,
Okay.
so the corner of the room isn't particularly shadowed either. There's a corner, as there are in these square rooms. Hopefully there wasn't any circular rooms, or a nightmare. I'll tell you that right now. For me. I try to avoid them.
But yeah, there's like basically like a little port, like a tiny part of like the wall where
Yeah,
the
yeah.
window
Just
that
sort
you've
of
now opened,
step
the
out.
sunlight doesn't quite catch, and stepping
Okay.
out from it.
And
we just didn't even
Korak
notice you at all.
announce? Did Adrik announce?
Adrik points to the
Okay.
shadowed corner and says, I would like to introduce him, and then this figure kind of steps out. And you're a brass dragonborn, right? So you can see these...
Copper.
So he has like a coppery coloured scale. And is he wearing like leather armour or anything, or is he just kind of wearing like dark clothes?
It's sort of almost sort of deserty traveling clothes, I'd say. Like, it's practical stuff. There's
Loose
bits
robes
and
kind of
bobs
things,
on him.
yeah.
Yeah, he's not like voluminous, like, I am a mage robes, you know? Like, it's very, very practical. Almost, I'd say, to reference something out of character,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
a bit like Rey, essentially.
Yeah.
So you know how Rey in Star Wars
Wrapped
wears...
up kind of like robes and stuff.
They're practical. They keep out of the way, essentially,
Yeah.
the clothes that I'm wearing.
And he nods and he gestures towards this individual. This is my friend and what was it? What was that title?
Kaid.
Kaid Balathis Gurnak. He is an old friend of mine from my days back in Bresseras. Balathis, and he kind of extends a claw, like to you, like as you kind of enter. He just extends a claw for like a kind of grip. I'm assuming you take it.
Yeah.
Like he kind of grips it and he goes, "I would like to introduce. These are the allies I spoke of, the ones that have been helping me defend the city." He points at a human in sort of like with a little green bandana and cape, Mr. Cam Buckland, a cleric of Avandra.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
This is Miss Jiutou. She is obviously a tiefling of Bresseras, but she has been trained in the martial matters. She fights with...
Charmed, I'm sure. And
Just do a silent bow.
Oh, okay, right. He sort of goes... Oh, okay.
And this is Mr. Reynard Ferrahorn, monster hunter, I believe you would attribute to yourself, would you not?
Best way of describing it.
Excellent job with that door.
Oh, thank you. Didn't see you on the way in, actually.
He then gestures to a woman, very sort of curvy, wears loose robes, kind of very similar to Bressarian robes, you can tell, and she has Bressarian markings, kind of like silver-white tattoos, kind of like painted all over her skin, but she's human. She has long white hair, but you can see that her eyes are silver. This is Lady Amaryllis, the dragon I mentioned to you. And he's mentioned to you that she is a silver dragon that is from ancient Bresseras, but was kind of sealed in a magic spell, and so hasn't been around for several centuries. And so he's informed you of her, and he just gestures to the group. Balathis has been keeping an eye on things in Bresseras for me. He is also a powerful spellcaster and has been diverting much of my brother's attention in the ways that he can. The situation, however, has grown dire. They are mounting an army, preparing to invade Talis Val. Apparently, the situation in Bresseras has grown worse over the last 5 months. Many metallic dragonborn are now being captured, imprisoned, treated as traitors. Some of them are even being taken on as slaves as well. The Chromats have fully taken control of the kingdom. Miss Jing, I believe you mentioned a city, a village nearby. We mentioned heading to Bresseras. What was the name of this place?
I'll trawl through the notes.
It is a secret place,
I can assure you that everyone here will keep it as such.
and it is called Zio.
Okay. Balathis, you've actually heard of this place? Because you know that basically...
I know many things.
He does know many things. You know of it because there has been somewhat of a dragonborn resistance has been forming. Several powerful metallic dragonborn who kind of have come to realize that the Chromats have been lying about the Tieflings' power and how they actually don't really have much of a demonic connection anymore. They have begun to form a resistance, and in searching for allies, they basically have encountered Tiefling smugglers, people that have been helping Tieflings get out of the city. And in helping them, they've formed like an alliance between the Tieflings, the ex kind of escaped slaves, and this Dragonborn resistance. And you know that there is a woman there, Saja Voxar. Saja is basically like she's an old silver dragonborn that is one of the noble houses, and she's kind of been leading the dragonborn forces there and working with the Tieflings.
Okay.
And you know that's if there's a place where you can probably go and get allies, that's probably a good place to go.
How recent would that be with Jiutou?
No, Jiutou. When Jiutou left, it was just Tieflings, and there wasn't that many there. It was the few that you managed to rescue. Yuan and the others were basically there, but it was quite small when you left it.
Cool.
But it's been about 5 months since you left, so 5-6 months. Adrik turns. We obviously have the airship. The airship is a little too conspicuous to fly directly into the capital.
What is really high though? Like really like above the clouds.
In Bresseras, they have dragons that scout the city. They ensure they keep an eye on the capital itself. Some of them quite powerful. However, most of them do not. Bresseras is a very vast desert kingdom. If this Ziu is near the mountains, then it will be several days' travel away from Bresseras itself. We can probably take the airship to the mountains, descend, and then make our way into the city, and then into the village, and then I would like to believe that your allies there would be able to assist us.
I can fly us once we get to the mountains in the airship. We can do some sort of system where you could all fly.
What?
I can make you all fly.
What do you mean?
That would be
Like
very
throw us
useful.
beneath
But
It would, in terms of we can get closer using the airship, and then
But I've been-
once there we can assess the situation, and if the opportunity arises, we can make you fly.
Well, if there's dragons everywhere.
Well, it's still useful, stay low, but you can still move very quickly. I mean, otherwise we can work out another system when we get there.
Jiutou's going to look kind of a bit... At the mention of allies, like Adrik kind of specifically saying allies there and stuff like that, she's just going to start looking a bit nervous and quiet and just a bit like...
Let's see if I notice that.
yeah, you can make an insight check.
3.
I mean, I may
You don't have to.
La la la!
less.
I
Seems
just
that
like to think that in your brain it's like Homer Simpson, they're like... Da, 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 da.
That's most of it.
I also imagine it's most people are used to Jiutou not being uncomfortable and like quiet, so it's just like
normal.
assumes that it's kind of normal. But I suppose actually, hang on, Amaryllis might notice. She's the type that would know she doesn't.
Nobody notices my pain!
So Adrik looks around. We will need to discuss one thing during the journey, and this is where I hope the Balithis' expertise will come in handy. We will need to infiltrate Bresseras itself. The Imperial City will be incredibly heavily guarded. They will have platoons of Dragonborn soldiers, perhaps even some younger dragons on patrol.
Luckily for you, I'm an expert at getting into places that people don't expect.
This is
Were you
why-
even invited in here? Okay, good. You didn't just sneak in.
No. Adrik literally introduced me to you guys.
Well, I know. Just
As I mentioned, Balithis is the one who's looking
I
out.
want to cast predigestation on his ears to check they're clean.
Yeah. So you feel like this, like a cotton bud, like
oh,
and the dragon man just takes his claw away.
Any better?
yeah. Huh?
Let's move on.
We will need to discuss some sort of infiltration plan. I'm afraid that such matters are not really of my permit.
Can you walk through walls? Sorry, I'm trying to understand what you do.
Well,
Yes.
would you like to know more about me? I can tell you a little bit about
Well,
not
we've got-
everything, obviously, military
got a-
secrets and all that.
We've got an airship journey.
Yeah.
It's going to be very boring.
Right.
And his company, awful.
I can already tell.
Whoa.
So
I could say same
I'm
thing.
joking. It's fine. You're all
I
like
specifically
me.
didn't
Very
mention
enigmatic.
Jiutou, but thanks for including
Good
me.
opening doors.
Appreciate
Great at opening windows. I can see you guys have the skill set that's going to blend great into the resistance. We do a lot of window opening.
Speaking of resistance, will we not look out of place in Bresseras?
That is one thing we will need to discuss, yes. Obviously, Bresseras is a kingdom of Dragonborn and Tieflings only, and the Tieflings are obviously impoverished and are kept as slaves, as you are aware.
Now, I know you're human, right?
He is
Just out of character
We're
for a
both
second.
human.
I'm
You're
human
both
as well,
human,
yeah.
and you're a
Both
tiefling, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it shouldn't be a problem here. These guys, can you change your appearance at all?
I don't want to.
I can help you.
I could wear a really nice outfit.
I could
Or
disguise
a bad outfit. I mean,
Lady Amaryllis at this point, and she's like, because she appeared human as well to you, but she's like, I can change my shape, and I could become a Dragonborn if necessary, or I could disguise myself as a Tiefling. I prefer a humanoid shape, but I can easily become something else if necessary.
You could be like a very.
At this point, there's another woman, another human woman, who you've actually met. She's an illusionist that Adrik would have introduced you to. Her name's Trixiana. She's a wizard. She kind of steps forward. Well, if Mr. Ferrohorn is unable to change himself, I can use illusions to disguise a number of creatures for a time. That is the difficulty. It would not last long, perhaps an hour. Adrik has requested my assistance in flying the airship. I've been studying it. I should be able to control it for several hours.
I guess all we need to do is reach this town and then we can lay low in there.
They may be able to provide more insights into various matters as well.
Is there nothing Alfred can give us, like a bracelet that changes our form at will?
I'm afraid Alfred has fallen very, very ill of late. He is resting as best he can, but his ability to create items has been somewhat limited, and the other masters are all busy trying to deal with the aftermath of the war. I'm afraid that we have only what we have available now.
There is some elements of the infiltration that we could handle by talking our way in terms of perhaps I could suggest that you might appear slightly differently to how you appear, for example. It's
That doesn't work.
well,
on about?
you'd be surprised.
He doesn't look like a tiefling.
Who doesn't?
Idiot. Who is this guy? Adrik, really?
Adrik smirks. Let's just say that Balithus has a way of encouraging people to believe what he says.
He stepped out of a shadow.
Yes,
He doesn't have a tail. And he's acting very mysteriously.
that is his nature. Balithus serves in the shadows. He does what those in the light, such as myself, cannot.
Then why are you so good in Bresseras where it's really hot apparently and
Shadows can't exist without light.
I go into my own world?
Blown his mind temporarily.
How do you actually know Balithus, Adrik?
Well, he looks at Balithus for a second, kind of gives a nod. I believe you might not have been present when I explained how I left Bresseras. I was imprisoned. I was framed for the murder of my mother. And as punishment, I was thrown into a gladiatorial pit, a large Colosseum arena where fighters, Tiefling, Dragonborn, such criminals, are expected to die for the amusement of the chromatics. I managed to win, something which is not so easily done. It requires a year long of battles and constant fighting, but my prize was exile. However, the Church of Tiamat and my brother Korak would not simply allow me to flee. I presented too much of a threat. It was Balithus who helped me escape unharmed. He kept assassins from me, and he secreted me into what is now known as the Dawn Republic. He is the only one that knew of my existence, and that I had survived the journey.
Old friend would have been fine.
I believe it is important that you are aware of some of the circumstances.
And
you
his skills.
Yes, and be aware that my brother is... Felania was quite mad, a tyrant in her own right. Korak is much of the same, but perhaps worse. He is fueled by centuries, eons of greatness. And the Church of Tiamat is very much in favor of him and his cruelty.
So
That's maybe a story for another time.
Barry here, you share the same loathing for
You can call me Bal if you like. Balithus is my full name, but Bal's fine.
B?
B, that's fine. I mean, if you want to get really personal, that's no problem at all.
That's personal.
Well, you know, it's the first letter of my name. It's pretty informal.
I'd have
His
thought Schnookums would
title-
be more personal.
His title is Ka'id, which means commander in Draconic.
Oh.
BK.
BK. I head up the the darker, more subtler side of the rebellion.
He is quite an accomplished spellcaster, I can assure you as well. One of the most
trust you,
powerful in
Adrik.
Bresseras.
I specialize in getting in and out of places. I'm not the best in a fight, but I like to think that I don't have to come to blows to get my objectives completed.
Do not worry about this. If a fight does ensure, and you can see Adrik is actually wearing his full plate mail as well for a change, and he basically hefts his massive dawn blade and makes sure he kind of like wraps a hand around that. I will be accompanying you on this mission. It is important that I am there when we kill Korak. So if a fight does break out, it will be interesting to test myself in Bahamut's name now.
Are you fully rested from the Talisval invasion?
I've had a week to recover, as of you. I'm as rested as I can.
Not to mention, you're talking about the champion of the draconic fighting pits.
There is a reason that I survived. When I was dead.
Yeah.
Fair. I'm ready to go.
So when we take down the real Korak and you take that place, will we need to be stationed there for a time to protect?
You?
Well,
I believe that yourself and Mr. Buckland would be free to return to Talisval, and in fact, I would not wish to keep you from your family or your friends. I would, however, very much like Miss Jing to stay with me. I believe it is important to mending relationships between the Dragonborn and Tieflings. We have done much atrocities to your people over the centuries, but perhaps the Metallics can be led to understand it. I would very much like Miss Jing to take an official position within my court, if you would be willing.
I give kind of a
If not, that is understandable, of course. Lady Amarith shall be with me as a companion. I believe Balithis will continue to assist me in running the kingdom as necessary. There may be others that we can seek. It is merely as a friend. I would have appreciated your help, but I understand if you have your own desires.
Go on.
It has been a while since I have returned. I will need to see what has happened.
Of course, absolutely understandable.
I'm a little concerned, Jiutou, that we're going back to the place you've told us so much about, and there's a lot of atrocities and a lot of people that you might see in bad circumstances. Are you going to be able to keep your head?
I fought for many years to free my kind. I will be fine.
Good. We've come so far, and I think together we will defeat, in a good way, the baddies.
Our main objective, our main challenge, I should say, will be not only sneaking into the Imperial City, but we must deal with Korak quickly. As Worm King, he is able to use the throne to awaken the ancient guardians of Bresseras, ancient dragons of considerable power. We must deal with him swiftly as we can. If he is able to summon even guards to his assistance, the elite royal guards are quite formidable. This will not be a war, but rather this must be a surgical strike.
So they've got lots of dragons, right?
Yeah, I
There
don't
are
like
some.
dragons.
Many of them are young.
Right.
The older dragons have not awoken from their slumbers from centuries ago. Many of the dragons that will be there will be young. There will be some of Thunderfang's level.
Right.
I mean, that destroyed... Okay.
This is why we must use subtlety.
Balithis, are you able to convince a dragon that we're not who we are?
Edible.
Yeah.
I'm very good at convincing people to do lots of things. Guess we'll have to find out.
Okay.
The dragons in
I'm not
Bresseras.
convinced.
The dragons in Bresseras
Didn't work on him.
They are bound by magic to answer the call of the Worm King. If I can become king, they will listen to my commands.
Then let's make it so.
Very well. The airship is currently docked, for lack of a better word, just outside the city gates. Trixiana and many others will be on hand. We will have a small squadron of soldiers, but they will be more to help maintain the airship itself. The less people we have infiltrating the city, the better. It is fully stocked upon food and supplies. Simply, I would suggest you make your goodbyes and prepare yourselves mentally. Balithis, if you would not mind accompanying them for some time, it perhaps will do you some good to learn the ways of the city. I shall see you at the ship shortly. I will be there within a few hours.
Sure, we'll give you the tour. Here's the destroyed place.
Yep.
Here's that place that no longer exists.
I used to like that
It's going
one.
to be lovely. But the temple's nice.
Okay.
You can go there first.
Adrik just gives you a solid nod and a bow. Amaryllis comes to his side. She just kind of holds his claw, and Trixiana heads out the door.
Okay.
You guys can head off if you
Sorry, just super quickly. Tiamat is I guess
Religion
I'd be able.
check.
Okay. Let's just say no for now.
I mean, tell me what the final thing is.
Where's religion?
It's a skill.
Oh, I got 6.
6.
Yeah.
You've probably heard of Tiamat, like goddess of evil dragons, but
okay.
that's probably what you would literally know. It's just
Like polar opposite.
evil dragon.
Bahamut.
Yeah, basically you would know that she's the enemy of Bahamut.
Okay,
Basically.
just wanted to make sure.
You don't know anything more about her.
Tell you about the priestess of Tiamat, if you like, or rather how they're behaving.
Oh, I think it was more. I was just.
Don't tell Reynard anything about religion because he gets sucked in so easily and he'll be buying the booklets.
Hey, I don't do
What
Bahamut
happened to
anymore.
your talisman?
I don't remember. I still got the book, I think.
Do you?
I don't know, maybe. I collected all the stuff. I had like a shirt and everything. No, I don't remember.
You've lost it
I think
then?
maybe it burnt up when you fell in the lava.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Lava did a number on me.
So yeah, you guys have a few hours if you need to do anything in the city before you head out, but
Jiutou
up to you.
I want to say goodbye.
Are there any potion sellers or equipment boys?
So one of the problems that the party have had is their kind of main purveyor of magical goods was a Jinn who was killed during the war. So he's gone.
He wasn't killed.
He was officially killed, but he doesn't die. He just goes back to the elemental plane of air. Yeah.
It's just I'd be loath to leave town unprepared. Perhaps
Most of the shops
a
aren't
general
selling right
store.
now.
You can
or anything like
buy,
that.
so you can't buy anything which is basically, you can buy regular healing potions, which are 50 gold each. You can buy those. But anything more powerful is beyond.
What about ropes and things like that?
Things like that, yeah. Basically, any general equipment you don't even need to buy. Assume that you have access to anything out of the player's handbook in terms of like normal mundane gear. Weapons.
The assault we're doing.
Yes.
Or rather, the infiltration. In terms of defenses, do we know if they have like a large ring wall? Or,
Yeah, so you can. I'm guessing you could maybe tell the part
Yeah,
of this as
exactly.
you're
I
kind
can
of
sort of
doing.
go like, right, this is what you're facing.
So Bresseras is the capital city. So Bresseras, the kingdom. Bresseras is the capital city, right? It is a huge sandstone city. It's probably not as large as Talisval. It probably has a population of around about 12,000. Maybe 15,000. It's built onto a large river that runs through the central desert, and it's surrounded by floodplains. It's how they, feed and everything else. Much of its architecture is ancient. This is a city that is perhaps 3,000, 4,000 years old. So a lot of the buildings come from a long, long time ago. In terms of defenses, very heavily defended. Dragonborn military is extremely strong. There are 3 main gates: the Golden Gate, the Red Gate, and then the River Gate. All 3 of them are basically patrolled by a platoon and normally have a young dragon positioned there as well as a kind of an extra security watch. Normally flying above the gate to look out for like anything like suspicious.
Do we know about trade routes, people coming in and out?
So traders, Dragonborn traders, there are several other kind of settlements around the desert and they all trade with each other. Bresseras is very self-contained because it's a very magical land. There are a lot of magical oases, there's a lot of mines. They don't really need to trade with outsiders, so outsiders aren't permitted into the capital city.
More be like a supply caravan coming from an outlying mine.
Yes, absolutely. Things like that are very common, but they are generally checked just because the chromats are very paranoid. This is one thing you know is chromatic dragonborn tend to kind of follow the kind of same traits as chromatic dragons, and they're all pretty paranoid and they're all very suspicious of what's going on. So they are checked, but yeah, outsiders aren't permitted, so humans definitely wouldn't be allowed. Tieflings would need to appear like slaves. Anybody that doesn't look like a slave would be suspicious.
No, I understand that. This airship, how
it's
big
massive.
is it? Right.
Imagine
Could we
a
put
sort
a cart
of
on it?
imagine a sort of fantasy helicarrier. You know, like Marvel's helicarriers.
Right,
it's
okay, so
huge.
it's huge.
It was
So-
built for giants.
How do you guys? Sorry, I'm trying juggling in character now, character information. How were we in like a talking position right now? Or
Yeah,
is
you
guys
can be
off?
Walking on the street.
All right, so in terms of how we would interject, I think we should find somewhere quiet to discuss this because we don't know whether the chromatics have ears, in the city already.
Sure, they have ears.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
So-
how would they talk to each other?
Well, yeah, this is great. This is a really good point. So if you guys want to, we can find somewhere quiet to talk, or if you have any safe area you know of. Obviously, I don't know exactly. Did you have a suite or something like that?
I'd like to see this. I guess we've been to the suite before.
You can
but-
go there. Yeah, you stay
Good
there.
as place in it as any, yeah. Otherwise, I'd recommend the Temple of Bahamut because they're really quiet there anyway.
It could echo though. Let's go to the suite, and I can describe an idea, and we can all discuss our ideas for how we're going to get into Bresseras.
Yeah, you can easily make your way to the suite. You can
Okay.
gather in it. Yep, food.
On the
everything is
way,
supplied.
I'm pointing out all the good places I used to love that are now crumbled and destroyed.
Right.
So that used to be a really nice stand that had grapes and stuff, but I think he got mushed by a rock, and all the grapes are dead. So good times.
Thousands were lost.
Thousands of grapes, yeah, and people, mostly grapes.
Where's it going?
Yeah. Jiutou and Reynard just put on. Did you say you wanted to speak to somebody before you
No.
left Adrik's? Okay.
I'm just looking nervous.
Just looking a bit sort of like quiet.
Handsome.
Yeah, I would say that at this point, Reynard and Cam would probably pick up that Jiutou is quieter than normal. Like, she's certainly not being as mistrusting of this strange dragonborn as you might expect.
True.
Can I try?
No, I know, but like...
That's why I said, did he introduce
Yes,
her?
he did, he
Because
did.
otherwise I would have fucking come for you.
Can I try and make small talk with
Yeah,
Jiutou?
yeah, you do what you want.
Do I need to do any rolling, or do you actually want me to be genuine?
Yeah, oh no, you've got to...
Right, okay.
This is it. You got to... This is how we do things here, man.
Wow.
I didn't catch your name in that meeting. What was it?
My name is Jiutou Ziziding.
Now, Jiutou, I can obviously see you're a tiefling.
Very perceptive.
Thank you. I've been often complimented on that particular attribute, among other things. Now, I can appreciate the bad blood between my kind and yours. Certainly, we're going to see more of that in Bresseras, or Bresseras.
Bresseras, yeah.
Bresseras. And I wanted to talk to you about any particular fears or apprehension you may have about this mission, because I can appreciate its impact on you, and we need to make sure that we're all in the same space for this, otherwise lives may be lost. Is there anything I can talk to you about? It might be worth mentioning that the resistance that I've been largely in charge of has many tieflings in it. Many people have risen up from their shackles and joined us in what we hope you will come to see as a noble effort to dethrone the chromatic.
I'm just like looking at all this, and my eyes are just like narrowing and just like trying to suss this guy out. Just like, can I roll a perception just to see if he is kind of
Be insight.
trustworthy?
Yeah, be insight.
17 plus 8 is
25.
25.
Yeah, I think pretty much everything you've said is all true, isn't it? There's no deception there. Yeah, it's you get the sense that everything he's saying, he seems to be very genuinely kind of extending a claw or hand in friendship, and kind of like he's making an effort to try and make you feel comfortable and to be as forthright with you as possible.
I don't know if there's any anything I might know from talking to other tieflings, like in the resistance and stuff. Anything I can tell her about?
Would you have visited the village?
I don't think so. I don't think you would have visited there, but you know that they are working with people there.
Like my role in all of this is I go to perhaps various cells, resistance cells, for example, and talk to them and keep abreast of the whole situation. But individual missions I won't always be going on. I'm more of a top line.
You're kind of like the guy in Bresseras itself, because you can move around so unseen. You're kind of keeping an eye on like what Korak's council and the church is up to. You're kind of like, they might send a squadron to go out and deal with like a cell. You'll be able to instantly kind of get word to them. They can escape.
I'm a spy.
Yeah.
I'm many things, but my primary role was, an informer on the inside to...
And why do you work to free tieflings?
Well, because I believe it's a righteous cause. I've suffered at the hands of the chromats as well. You may notice I don't have a tail. That was the result of my torture at the hands of the chromat once they tried to get the information for where Adrik had gone. Once I'd helped him escape, I couldn't leave Bresseras immediately, or wherever you escaped from. Was it Bresseras?
Yeah, he escaped from Bresseras to this place, yeah.
I had to try and get my family out. They were all killed by chromats. I was then tortured for Adrik's location, which I did not reveal. Eventually, Adrik put some assets in place to get me out. I have a lot of skin in this game as well, so to speak. You don't have to trust me. You don't have to like me. I can appreciate that. I just wanted you to explain that. Hopefully I can alleviate some of your fears, because at the end of the day, the mission is what is important. And if you're going to be a liability on that mission, I need to know.
I will not be a liability. I'm not afraid of returning.
But communication is also a very important part of achieving a mission. So you need to make sure you're ready to communicate any feelings or knowledge you may have that you feel that maybe...
I communicate to you that I will kill Korak as soon as I see him.
Okay. Well, I'll work that into our plan.
Appreciated.
He gets like a little pad out, like
Need to
crazy
somehow,
fucking mental.
Tiefling's going to kill this guy on sight, so I need to work out how I can
Keep Jiutou blinded.
facilitate that safely.
Like a wind-up toy.
I too am an orphan, and my parents, my family, my entire village were killed by Korak and his troops. So I do see that I share some affinity with you.
Well, we both want the bastard dead.
Eloquent. I won't lie. I have not been back to Bresseras for a while, so this news of a revolution is surprising to me. and it is surprising to see Dragonborn fighting for Tieflings. It is something that perhaps I did dream for once, but I am rather shocked to see it happen now.
Who would we be but yet another tyrant if we didn't have some noble cause beneath what we do? The Tieflings are just as free as any metallic dragons.
You must understand, my whole life, I have been treated as if nothing by Dragonborn. So it is very strange to stand here talking to one, treating me as an individual.
Well, I hope it's something that we can continue.
Indeed.
Some extra information for you, Smith. Jiutou wouldn't necessarily notice because she only experienced it from one thing. Some metallics did keep Tiefling slaves, but generally treated them very well, as opposed to Chromats. But not everybody did. Not every family felt they needed them. The reason that the Tieflings were kept as slaves is because the ancient Dragonborn thought that they still had this demonic connection and was like, we need to keep them in check.
Yeah.
Over years, that demonic influence has faded to nothing, and so now the metallics, a lot of them have kind of realised
absurd because
we've been tricked. So, but yeah, a lot of them still had them, but generally they looked after them quite nicely. But you've heard stories of Chromats that had Tieflings like Jiutou that were just fucking cruel, like horribly cruel, killed their families, tortured them, beat them, made them do hard labour all the time. Like you can absolutely understand that kind of perspective.
Some of my best friends are Tieflings.
Wow. Anyway, so you guys can find.
Walk off.
You guys can either find a quiet space. You can go to the airship, which nobody else really has access to.
That might be easier because then we can actually get going after we've talked about it.
True.
That whole time when they were talking, I was with Reynard.
What are you going to kill him with? Probably bolts.
We don't have that conversation. I'm trying to hide places because I'm practicing my stealth.
Okay.
And I'm like, Reynard, can you see me?
Oh, well, where have you gone, Cam?
Use a line to him outright.
Well, I mean, he's really obviously hidden, let's be honest.
Is he?
So
Make
you
a
guys
stealth
just
check.
like off to the side whilst we're talking?
Yeah.
I think I did roll a perception and I could hear it. I rolled like a 22.
What did you roll a stealth for me?
All right.
I want to see what you get.
6 with 3, so 9.
He's like stood behind like an apple cart, but you can see his shoes and like his cape flowing to
Is
the
his
side.
I'll,
like
like-
bandana lighting up as well?
Yeah, he forgot that he's left his light up
Disco
bandana on.
bandana.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to like look down an opposite alleyway, like, oh, Cam, where have you gone? And then hide myself.
Okay, yeah.
And then use hidden in plain sight. Oh, shit.
Dude, it's terrible.
Well, actually, stealth. Oh, what I've only got? I thought I was proficient in that. That's a 9, but I've got like hidden in plain sight,
Yeah, it just means that you can hide in plain sight.
which he's got
it's not
minus
very
10 to perception to
Okay.
spot me.
As he's doing this and as he turns,
Yeah.
I want to lead over and put my hand on Cam's shoulder. It's Cam, right?
Yeah.
Cam's shoulder and go, "You're doing great," and cast greater invisibility on him.
Okay. So you watch as Balthus puts his hand on him. You go back as if to be like, oh, no. And then he's just gone.
Cam?
Reynard,
This voice just comes out of nowhere, like,
Reynard, can you
Cam?
see me?
Where?
I told you I was fucking good.
He's very
Good I am. I'm going to
Jiutou?
start like army crawling along the floor.
you can hear like you can hear like
his
metal
stealth is
dragging.
still so terrible.
Yeah, his stealth's still bad.
You just hit a groove in the ground.
And a particular like deeper groove in the middle. I'm really excited.
12 to
Step back
perception.
from that.
I'd say you can hear like what sounds like scraping along the floor, but where exactly he is, you're not sure. But you're pretty sure he's on the ground crawling around.
Maybe
Can
you need
I-
some practice, Reynard. You know, we've got an important mission. You need to be as stealthy as
His
me.
voice is just coming from nowhere.
I'm just going to sigh,
I'm knocking shit over.
open my bag, and just drop a grape on the ground.
There's a lot of scurrying, a lot of dust is billowing, and
and as soon as you touch the grape, it vanishes.
And then I'm just going to put my foot on what I hope is his hand.
You then
great
go
drops.
invisible.
back to visibility.
You get his hand, yeah. You catch like the palm, like nah.
Do you like grapes?
Fucking love it.
Why? What's that?
He's obsessed
He
with
just
grapes.
loves grapes.
I'm big
I
on
find
grapes.
it quite useful to have some in my bag.
The interaction that you've had with Cam Buckland, you definitely know that he's not the smartest.
It doesn't seem to
BA.
be. No.
He's probably some sort of not any learning. No learning when he was younger.
No education.
Almost no education.
Okay.
Ain't learned.
You ain't learning.
No, he
got a 9
learned
intelligence.
on the road.
Minus
That's
1.
fine. You're street smart. That's the kind of street smarts I like. He knows a good grape when he sees one.
Jiutou, please, can you release my hand?
Does Jiutou
Well,
go invisible?
like, I don't know how long it's been, but
No.
that spell only lasts a minute. So
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point he just poofs back into visibility and you're just stuck in his hand.
Yeah. I'm just going to turn around. I imagine my tail's probably just going to hit his face a little bit.
Like slap.
Just carry on walking.
It's a bit harsh in front of you.
yeah.
So, what do you guys do?
You
Go to the
are
airship?
a fool.
Yeah, let's go to the airship.
And
This
I
was
will
fun.
treat you
Let's go to the
as such.
airship.
So, you guys make your way to the airship, which is just outside the northern gate of the city. You can
That
see
is
it.
big.
It is huge. It was built for giants, so it's massive.
You think you can smuggle this in?
That might even be beyond my expertise.
And you can see that what they've done is they've basically added like some sort of like crane to the side of it, which allows like people to pull up supplies and things like that. And there's also enough that you can see some very strong looking fellows that are basically pulling people up as well. And so it's kind of got like a little lift system to get up and in and out of it. As you make your way up onto it, it's a large wooden deck. You can see that it's made from a very hard wood, but with black iron, like a really thick kind of like coarse, like the Blackrock Orcs from Warcraft kind of thing, like that kind of design. And you are led downstairs. There are quarters for each of you. You each get basically a bunk quarter. And there are officers, soldiers of all different races and genders wearing green livery, which has the symbol of Talis Val on it. And they are basically like making sure the airship is kept running, that it has supplies. There's things like a proper cook. There's like, navigation. And there's enough of them to man the ballistae, and the cannons, which are actually built into the ship itself.
Cannons on an airship. Can't see that going badly.
It went really well for...
Well, they did
Previous
use
owner.
this to attack Talis Val. You have seen Talis Val.
Not ideal.
The cannons only shoot down though.
They're basically angled. They can move, but they're basically angled because the airship is meant to basically fly above its target and then just... So they're basically pointed downwards. But the ballistae can fire kind of around up top as well.
They're new, aren't they?
Yes, they are new. They've been built in by Talis Val. Inside the command center, which is basically a large chamber with 3 crystalline screens and a ring of power, is Trixiana, this woman you met before. She's kind of stood there, and on the screens is basically like viewports of the ship, so she can see around the ship as she needs to, and she's kind of like testing it, and you can see her kind of like experimenting with the magic. She just turns around and says, "The ship is ready to leave when you are. Adrik is currently in his quarters. Lady Amaryllis is here with us as well."
Wasn't she going to come?
Was she?
I don't know. You said something last week.
Did I say I was going to bring Grunker with us?
I don't believe you said you were going to bring her. You do know that the less people you bring, the higher chance of success.
She's not quiet, Grunker.
And you definitely know that she is not quite.
Bronco?
Well, Grunker's she's my half orc.
He likes her tusks.
I have to hold on to them.
She's
He has a fetish.
I don't have a fetish. I told you it's not the
She
tusks.
warned me of people like you.
I don't like the tusks. We've been over the.
Is Grunker your lover?
I wouldn't say love.
Yes.
Yes. I like her a lot, and we kissed a couple of days ago. I'm not afraid to admit that one.
She may
I
have
like
gotten him
her. She
pregnant.
likes me.
She may have gotten him pregnant.
No, that's.
She's that powerful.
Wow.
Pretty strong.
She must be a sorceress with real power.
The facility.
The sorceress of my heart.
Let's meet up in a small meeting room.
Yeah, they have
aboard the thing.
basically like a little war room, kind of
Oh,
like a little meeting room.
Firstly, Trixiana.
Yes.
These screens. Are you able to use them to scry on anyone now?
I can use them to scry on individuals I am aware of. The more familiarity I have with the target, the easier it is, obviously. And if the individual is particularly strong-willed, they will become aware that someone is scrying on them.
Okay. So if we tried to go for the town CEO.
It must be an individual.
Oh, okay.
Jiutou, would you know an individual that could still be alive that could also be at this town?
I founded the village.
You what?
I founded the village. I know everyone there.
You did what to the village?
Well, as of 6 months ago.
Started it.
You started it. That's impressive.
If Miss Jing is aware of an individual, it will become more difficult because I am not familiar with them, but I can still attempt it.
Why?
Well, it's just a
We can look ahead
nice bonus.
and see where, good locations to park this airship, things like that, and make sure there's someone there to meet us. And that it's not been overrun by, I don't know.
Is this the
romance.
village? Is it in the mountains? This village.
It's right, it's built into the mountains, yeah.
Excellent.
When did you last hear of this town? Is it okay? Is it safe right now?
Yeah, it's fine. The mountains provide good natural cover.
I designed it to not be found by those who do not know what they're looking for.
Is there
You keep surprising me, Jiutou. You designed a town in a mountain.
Well,
Masonry proficiency.
you basically built, so for information for Kim here, you kind of built it into, there was an old Dragonborn fort, which is basically from the ancient war, which is kind of abandoned because they don't need them as much anymore. So this old fort was kind of like, partially collapsed. It's partially built into the mountain caves, but it has a fortress element to it as well.
I just meant that she more like paid a lot of attention to keeping it.
Yes.
Sort of.
You also know that there is a kind of like a magical oasis nearby, which is basically provides all the food and water. Like it basically has like farming land around it and stuff like that. There's these oases are kind of dotted around Bresseras. It's basically a way for the desert to be viable to live in.
Is there a way, a track or some sort of path or road from your village to Bresseras?
It would be across the desert. So it is basically, the mountains are on basically the edge, which borders this country, and then Bresseras is a very large, vast, open desert. You would know it's about a 3-day travel on...
through a desert.
Through a desert, but that's using a particular type of mount called a sand drake.
Right.
Sand drakes can cross it, but generally caravans and sand drake mounts do track across the desert.
We're gonna need some shade.
Yes, it would. Both of you two would know that Bresseras is a very hot country, obviously. You're not bothered by it as much because Tieflings are fire resistant, so I generally kind of give them this thing of like, hot weather doesn't really bother us. And certain types of Dragonborn aren't bothered either. Are you fire or are you... I can't remember.
What, in terms of acid?
Yeah, acid, so the heat bothers you a little bit, but it's not like unbearable. You're a lizard, so you kind of...
We're gonna suffer.
This Trixiana,
Yes.
are you capable of, or do you know any mages that are capable of teleporting us anywhere?
There is one, unfortunately, he is extremely ill right now. He has a disease which cannot be cured by magic. He also can only transport people to set teleportation circles. He is not able to teleport full beings. It may be that there are other individuals in your kingdom, I'm not sure, but...
I'm just thinking
this for?
that... Huh?
What's this plan?
So well, I didn't know about the 3-day trek through the desert, but originally I was going to suggest the old ox cart hustle, where I drive it because I'm a Dragonborn and they'll let me in, and we hide you guys in the back.
You can still do that. There'll be trade routes that come in and out, for sure.
I'm just a bit concerned about the 3-day trek there in terms of what
we could just
we
fly.
might encounter. We could fly.
Yeah.
We can fly, but I don't think that's going to reduce our visibility in the desert.
There are various routes that I know of.
You
it's
know
quiet
that there are
through
definitely quiet ways.
Right.
There are actual kind of underground cavern systems which can cut like basically it still takes as long, but you're not out in the open.
Okay.
But also out in the desert is so vast, they don't have everybody patrolling everywhere. Like there's portions of the desert where it's so like they don't expect people to trek across it because you have to be well prepared to do so. Okay. So it's not like people can just run over there. So they don't bother patrolling it. They're just like, nah, we don't need to worry about that.
Okay.
My
My plan would be to go across the desert with a cart and I presume a sand drake.
a couple of sand drakes.
And once we get within visibility of Bresseras, we would then hop you guys in the back. I'll do some mojo to keep you guys covered. You can either hop in the back with them or pretend to be my slave. I appreciate that's quite a sensitive matter, so you may not want to do that. I am fine by that if you wish to just hop in the back with everybody else, and I will attempt to talk our way in as traders. That would be my suggestion. If you guys have any other ideas, go for it.
Adrik can disguise himself to not look like Adrik and sit up front with you.
Yeah, I can minor illusion us, alter self.
Lady Amaryllis can also just change her shape. She
Right.
can look like however she wants to look, basically.
Okay.
She can't look like people, but she can change her form. So she could be a silver dragonborn.
Yeah.
Or a
Chromatic or-
She couldn't be chromatic, I don't think,
okay.
because there's no. At best, maybe white,
In
but it
terms,
would look
in
like a
terms
very
of getting into
pearlescent white.
this, metallic dragons coming into Bresseras.
They can
how are
still
they
do it,
treated?
yes. They're not treated well, but they can still do it. Like, as long as you're willing to kind of, you probably have pulled this scam before of getting in and out of places.
Just
They'll
accept
treat you like shit and beat
subjugation,
you around.
like, yes, my lord.
Yeah,
there we
exactly.
go. Yeah, okay. Cool.
Exactly.
If you guys have other suggestions, I'm open to it. That was just the first thing I thought.
Well, we've also got these gauntlets that allow us to communicate with each other.
Yeah, you have two. You have one You have 2 that you can use.
Wasn't there 4 total though?
There was
I guess
3.
there was
Trelemar
yeah.
took 1.
Yeah, that's in the pile now.
So we could use those to communicate with anyone that may split off from the party. So I suppose we could have one. We could give one to maybe Adrik or...
I am not very familiar with magic. I would suggest Balithus takes it for the time being.
Okay.
I'll give it back.
Well, in that case...
Or keep it amongst yourselves. But
Well, we saw what happened when Jiutou tried to use it.
It's a horrifying image.
Yeah, that was
Horrifying.
pretty bad.
at least we did tell me that he received a very garbled message that was not quite comprehensible.
Yeah.
Well, I was the only one who was trying at the time.
Yeah.
Well, we have several days. It will take approximately 2 days for us to reach the mountains.
Is there plenty of water on the airship, Adrik?
Yes.
Is there lots of food?
Yes.
Have we got like nice little supplies for on the route, the 3-day travel in the desert?
We have some. I would hope that the village Miss Jing mentioned would be able to provide us some additional supplies.
A lot of reliance on this place.
We should take a cart and
They will supply.
Sandrake.
Yes.
Good.
If there's any doubt.
We would not be able to take a Sandrake with us. They are not here. We do not have them.
So we'd have
in
to-
Public.
Would they have any at the village?
Yes, they
Okay.
should do.
My village will provide.
Yes.
We need to borrow some bits and bobs from your village.
I shall tally up the cost.
Okay, you'll pay that?
Adrik. Adrik is like, I will make sure that anything.
I'm not a money guy.
Yes.
I'm more of a shadowy, moving about, takey money guy, if anything.
No, we will make sure that your village is compensated, Miss Jing. Obviously, we are putting them at a great risk. I'm sure that the rebellion will have funds as well that we may use. But yes, they will be able to provide us supplies. Generally, we will need supplies designed for Bresseras, food that will last, food that will keep in the hot weather. There will also be clothes for yourselves. Your current outfits, I would not recommend you. I would suggest you think of ways to...
What's wrong with this?
You will be very warm.
I'll just cut some holes.
You especially will fry.
But it's the yellow.
That amount of black is not recommended.
Oh, I can go all yellow. I got that variant.
It will be
and I just
better.
flip over the black bits.
Trixiana is still in this conversation, right? Yes. I kind of want to talk to Trixiana about our options for disguising people once we're in through the gates, because they can't stay in the back of a cart the entire time.
Well, the difficulty is I was not planning on accompanying you into the city itself.
Okay.
Simply because the airship requires a spellcaster, and I'm the only one trained in its use.
Run it, okay.
What I could possibly provide is a spell. If Miss Jing, you mentioned you recently had a spell that could store a magic spell. I could provide you with a seeming spell. If I can find it in my spell book, making sure it does what I think it does.
Just memorize the important ones.
Yeah, you feel like that'd be really important.
The seeming spell would allow you for 8 hours. It disguises you for 8 hours. It can target a number of creatures. And it disguises your physical appearance as well as any clothing, arms, weapons, or equipment you carry. I could change it so that you could look more likely tieflings for yourself and Mr. Buckland. Dragonborn would be difficult. They have different proportions.
Tieflings fine.
You will be treated badly.
However, if anybody were to touch you, for example, that is, if I was to say make your hair look shorter and they were to touch your back, they may still feel your hair there. It is an illusion. It is not a physical magical change. I could provide that for your ring if you needed, Miss Jing, and that would provide you a way of disguising yourselves inside.
Are we able to use mundane methods to change these two into tieflings?
You mean painting our skin?
It'd be very difficult. The horns and tails, you could do. Yeah, you could do it with prosthetics. You'd need to be very adept at disguising people.
There's a disguise kit, isn't there?
Yeah, you need to be proficient in a disguise kit, I would say.
Would Balithus be proficient in that? Or?
I don't know, is he?
I guess with your...
Have you got the criminal background, though? You went spy, didn't you?
I nearly went charlatan, which would have been perfect.
Yeah. No, I think because I would say that a spy would probably have access to a disguise kit.
Well, I'm very good at performance, persuasion,
Yeah.
like
No,
deception.
I would say that it makes sense that you're proficient in a disguise kit.
Well, I can try and disguise you. I don't know how effective those disguises would be. My only other option is I can use magic to change the way you look. However, much like seeming, it won't hold up to much physical inspection. More of a, if they saw you running by,
Well,
it
I
might be.
feel like
One
if we...
potential idea is if the seeming spell only disguises, does not hold up to physical adaptation, could you perhaps give them additional traits, prosthetic horns, underneath the illusion? Then in that way, it wouldn't be so dramatic if somebody were to touch.
I could try and improve them with illusions.
Yes, that could be a way of working around
I'm just
it.
worried that looking like a tiefling will result in a lot of physical
Beatings.
inspection.
Would you prefer to
Yes,
attempt to
it
try and
will.
look like a dragonborn?
We could
And
attempt that.
You did say that was...
It's possible.
Very
yes.
difficult, more difficult.
But it is possible. The benefit of the seeming spell is it could make you appear as a chromatic dragonborn, which perhaps would see you treated a little better.
I can make myself look like that as well. I can use alter self
Yep.
to change myself.
And that alter self is physically changing yourself.
Exactly.
That would.
But how much attention would that bring to us if we were 3 brand new chromatic dragons?
This is a thing, yeah.
It's a big city.
Yeah, it is a big thing.
Chromats will draw less attention than the unwanted metallics, right?
The metallics just generally are kind of like second-rate citizens now. They're kind of treated as
Yeah.
second-class
Chromats are
citizens.
probably going to get, fast pass.
Kind of, yeah.
Right, so what are you saying?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you guys have any other ideas? Let's throw something else at the wall in terms of we don't do the cart thing. We don't try and sneak in through the walls. We can try and drop in. But the skies are patrolled.
Battleboy. How about we set sail to the seas of the air, and then we find out what resources are available to us.
Once we get there. Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good.
All right. Yeah, so it takes you a few days just to load up, well, not a few days, a few hours to load up the supplies, but eventually the ship departs Talis Val. It is majestic. Flying through the air on the ship, you spend some time up on the deck, like kind of watching the landscape just fly behind you.
Hold me.
Trixiana is able to basically fly the ship for about 7 hours a day. But that is enough that within 2 days you are approaching what are called the Wormjaw Mountains, the mountains that border Bresseras and the Dawn Republic. When you arrive at the mountains themselves, the airship lifts up and you crest over them high up in the clouds. The Wormjaws are massively impenetrable. They're almost impassable, only really accessible through dwarven tunnels and certain passages carved out by earlier eras of men.
Yeah.
When you transfer over, the first thing you notice is the change in temperature. It becomes very hot, very dry heat, and you see just kind of as the ship descends on the other side of the mountains, these kind of tall, spire-like mountains that almost pierce up into the clouds themselves. As the airship descends, you see just sand spreading out almost as far as you can see. Perhaps in the very faint distance, you can see outposts and things like that.
It's all shimmery, right?
Yeah.
It's all shimmering, the heat rising up off of it. And the airship, basically under Jiutou's direction, arrives just on the outskirts, about perhaps an hour away from Ziyu. And the ship descends, the crane lowers down into a mountain path that allows you to basically make your way down into the desert proper. And then following Jiutou's directions.
I will say, before we leave the airship, I
Yep.
will say to the party that are going, this village is a secret. It is one of the greatest secrets in Bresseras. If anyone outside of this party finds out about it, if any chromats are brought here, it would be a disaster.
I want to say, don't worry, secrets are kind of my thing, and just jump off the top of the air thing into and use Featherfall. I'll use Featherfall before I hit the ground. That's all I say though. Secrets are kind of my thing. Jump off the back of this airship.
Damn. Well, you can keep
He's
the
gone.
secret if he's dead. So, fair enough. Also, I'm like glistening and.
Where's the water?
Adrik takes a moment. Obviously, I'm sure that everyone here will ensure the village is kept secret, Miss Jing. No one will dare endanger your lives.
Are we worried that this huge airship's drawing attention already?
Trixiana is going to reposition it on the other side of the mountains.
And let's get out quickly so that she can do that before anyone notices any dragons.
Yeah, can we actually see any dragons?
No, you can't see any dragons here. I would have said if you could see them.
Yeah.
Adrik just comes up, puts a clawed hand on your shoulder, just kind of a faint squeeze of assurance, We will keep it secret.
This is my life's work. This is my life's work.
I know. I am aware. Amaryllis just kind of also puts a hand on your shoulders. And you actually see Adrik, just before he steps off, he kind of stands... Adrik stands at the bow of the ship and just kind of looks out on the desert, and he kind of takes a deep breath, gives a nod, sheaths the dawn blade, hoiks up his shield, and then...
Are you down on the ground now?
He now makes his way down. Lady Amaryllis comes down with him, and I'm guessing you guys follow.
All right, as he comes down off the ship, I just want to put my hand on his shoulder and go, "Lo, cousin, there lies victory." And then just point at the fucking...
In the direction.
Anywhere.
The desert.
Where?
He like nods.
Well, like over there somewhere.
He's like, yes, it is good to be home, cousin. It's been far too long. And I'm sad. I'm saddened that it has been so long that things have gotten worse. But we will set them right.
I'm not sure these two are so glad to be here.
Sweat's in my eyes.
I did try and warn you.
Literally like when we were in Thailand.
I did try and warn you both.
I'm wringing out.
It's not even sweat, it's evaporating immediately. It's so hot.
Steam.
Miss Jing, would you please lead the way?
I want to predigitation
Gladly.
you two, just click my fingers and all the moisture just wicks straight out your clothes in like a puff of steam.
Oh, that was the only thing cooling me
But now
down.
they're like rock hard like cardboard.
Seconds later, I'm sweating again.
Amaryllis is just like, oh, for goodness sake, and like, she's like coming over and like she's like using
Mum
like
you.
she's like using thaumaturgy to like create little breezes and things like that. Come on, we can't wait here for
Not
it.
like you're in an
We
active
must get you
environment.
something. Will you please make sure you change clothes when we get to this village?
Have you considered going just armor? Honestly.
I don't have armor.
My armor is so hot right now.
You do
don't
have
have
armor.
armor.
You do have armor.
I do.
Yeah.
You wear breastplate.
Yeah.
Oh, is my armor of Ashford
I don't have the
metallic?
breastplate anymore.
What armor do you have then?
Nothing.
I'm sure
I've
you
got a
have.
little buckler.
You have armor. That's your AC, dude. You have breastplate.
I have basic leather.
You
What
bought
is your AC?
breastplate.
How have you got an AC and
breastplate.
AC?
You have breastplate, dude. You have breastplate.
Oh no, I
and
think
then-
it's padded leather and then a shield adds +2, so I think that does work out.
No,
Does it not?
no. What's your dex
What's
modifier?
my stacks? Yeah.
Dex is +3.
+3. Oh, is it 18? Oh, it is. Yeah,
So
it's
it's just
leather
basic.
then. For some reason, I thought you still had
So you're
your
wearing leather
breastplate.
armor?
Yeah.
I
Very,
think I must
very
have done this wrong. Mine's
Just
only
wear
60.
leather armor.
What have you got?
I've got with adamantine scale armor +4 dex, and I've only got 16.
The scale armor won't let you use the full +4 dex. That's why it's only medium armor. It lets you have a maximum of 2, I believe.
Okay.
So that does.
I've got a chain shirt.
Same thing.
I will do that. I'm gonna get rid of all the clothing apart from leather armor.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna tear off my trousers so they're like really tight shorts.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, without trousers, if you weren't wearing trousers, yeah, your natural 20 would be hanging out of the armor, basically.
I've torn the
But-
bottom so they're like ripped jeans.
They're ripped jeans. So this, like, yeah. So you've got like
No,
Daisy
it is-
Dukes.
It is better to keep flowing clothing than.
Jiutou, you told me this after I ripped my trousers.
They're like he's ripped them all to
You haven't
pieces.
seen my outfit.
I have.
A lot
And
of
also,
this.
and Balithus's outfit is very flowing robes as
He
well.
suggested it.
You are
What have I done?
I'm like a 40-year-old man taking a dip in the beach. I've just like rolled up my.
Like a
Have you
big
got
army.
handkerchiefs? Have you got handkerchief in your
I
head?
take my cape off. I've taken that off Gronka, I suppose, and I've wrapped that around my head.
Is this still on
You're
your
actually
back?
alright.
Still
Yeah.
on my head.
I would imagine that with Reynard, his big puffy like velvet doublet is like
yeah.
the thing which is like, oh, like velvet in this heat. You're like, but your head is like, at least you've kind of got the sun off your head.
Yeah.
Not known for its wicking velvet.
You make your way through. It doesn't take long, perhaps like 45, 50 minutes of
How are we
just
getting
checking
off
through.
the airship?
Like a
Took the
crane.
little crane down.
I just
Pay
jumped over because I'm
attention.
Yes.
so damn stylish.
You eventually come into what appears to be like a kind of natural valley, like a kind of like little crooked valley into the mountains. You step inside, and Jiutou leading the way, you stop at some point, and I'm guessing you would provide some sort of signal, like a hand signal, or you would a call or
little
something like
noise.
that, like a little bird, like a Bresseras and animal
dragon.
noise. Yeah, like. And you actually hear several crossbows kind of like unclicking, like somebody unloading them. And you can now see that hidden amongst the rocks, there are these tiny little kind of snipe holes all pointed down into the valley. And you can see various faces of purples, reds, some of a very dark grey. You can see with horns and tails these kind of tiefling figures, all wearing flowing robes, kind of poke their heads out. And you can see them all looking with disbelief at Jiutou. They have got like these wide eyes, like almost venerative kind of looks, and a call kind of echoes through the valley, and then a group basically meet you, and you can see they're all wearing sort of, they look almost like they're like capes, but they've got like stone patterning on them, and it looks like they're almost perfect for camouflaging in the rocky terrain. One of them pulls their head back, and it is a tiefling, actually the three of you recognize. He's an older male tiefling, black hair, small little black goatee, and you recognize it's Saito. This was a guy-
yeah.
Pick it up.
And he looks around and he like just kind of gives you a nod. Well, this is a little unexpected.
I must say, this is unexpected too. I did not think that you would return here.
I thought a lot about what you told me, and there was a lot of things that I realized I was running away from. And the only way I was going to be able to deal with that was to come back here and help. So I've been helping this little band of misfits and some of the Dragonborn that we've picked up. And I've been helping smuggle people in and out, using my thievery skills to the benefit of our people. And he just gives you a deep bow. He says, I believe there are a lot of people here who are quite excited to meet you. And you can see now that several of these other groups of tieflings just come rushing out, and they begin sort of like grabbing like Jiutou's hands, like shaking them, like bowing deeply to you, like, Jiutou, you've come back, and like lots of general excitement about Jiutou returning.
A lot of people around touching Jiutou.
But they're all like deeply bowing, and like they come up to you, and like some of them like grab like a hand and a shoulder, and like, you know, not quite a full embrace, but like some of them kind of lean in and just kind of like, you know, and they're like, oh, it's so, you can't believe you came back, you've been gone for so long, so much has happened, and they're kind of babbling away in like this big kind of chorus chitter.
Yeah, and I just kind of like, I'm very gentle. I kind of, say my hellos. I look a little bit embarrassed, like a bit, I'm kind of going a bit deep purple, like, yeah, hi.
It's at this point that a voice kind of calls out, a deeper voice. It's not the one you expect. Okay. A deeper, kind of dragonborn, gravelly voice kind of calls out from what you can see now is a stone wall that's been moved to the side and has kind of revealed a hidden entrance. And you hear this kind of like, all right, I think that's long enough for the poor woman. Come on, let's get you inside before anyone spots you out here. And you can see this kind of older silver dragonborn woman. You can see that her kind of tentacles, I guess they have been kind of like draped down and are braided and have like been encased in like metal hoops. You can see that she has scars along her snout, and she's kind of wearing loose flowing robes, and she kind of gestures you all. You recognize this is Saja Voxar. This is the woman who's been leading the resistance here. And Adrik seems to recognize her as like, Saja. And he like rushes up and, grabs her around the shoulders, and she's like, my prince. And she like pats him on the back and bows very deeply to him. It is so good to see you again. I'm glad that you have returned to your homeland. And then she begins leading you all inside. I think that's where we're gonna have to take a break, because it's now 6:30. So we're gonna take a short break. We'll be back very, very soon to see how the rest of this plays out.
Man, Saito.
Yeah.
Missed him.
I'm excited.
No.
Yeah, we'll see you in a
We'll see you in
Classic.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, and welcome back. You caught us mid-conversation about various matters.
Secret things.
But yeah, he wouldn't even necessarily need to trick anybody. He has a rightful claim on the throne.
Okay, we're just finishing that conversation.
Yeah,
No
because
context.
I couldn't not leave it unfinished.
Yeah.
Welcome back to High Rollers. You join us as the party have made their way into a village inside a old Dragonborn fort in the kingdom of Bresseras, a village called Jiutou, which was set up by our own Jiutou when she was rescuing Tieflings from being slaves to Dragonborn. And she returns to it now, finding that there is a growing Dragonborn resistance of metallic Dragonborn seeking to overthrow chromatic Dragonborn. And many of the Tieflings that were freed and that have kind of learnt from Jiutou rescuing them have now teamed up with the metallic Dragonborn to try and free more Tieflings and to hopefully rid their kingdom of the terrible, awful chromatic Dragonborn, or specifically Korak.
Boo!
Very
Yeah.
much boo.
Bad Korak.
I was saying boo earns.
Boo earns. You join us as you are kind of brought through this kind of like winding cavern passageway. You're eventually brought out into. You can tell that this is probably an old stone fort built into the mountains as some sort of defense, but then probably abandoned long ago. You can see the remnants of like stone, sort of like tables and chairs and alcoves built into large open rooms. The architecture, though, is very unlike anything you've seen. The carved flagstone is embedded with different symbols that don't really mean anything to you, but Kim and Balthus would know that it's all written in Draconic. And there are, you see like kind of like dragons sculpted onto the end of pillars that appear like they're kind of like the tails are wrapped around the columns and the wings are folded up, and it's all very draconically themed.
Yeah.
One of the main murals shows them like it's like a stone mural with like a crude sort of like engraving of Dragonborns fighting against demons, dragons and Dragonborn fighting against demons, that sort of thing. And yeah, this whole thing appears to be turned into a kind of shanty village. So you can see that like cloth tents have been put up inside. There is kind of like kitchen equipment that's been built into what was probably the old barracks. There are bed rolls. It's kind of got like a refugee kind of camp kind of vibe to it. People seem to be growing from there. You can see that up on the wall they've got like cloaks that hung up that seem to match the kind of mountainous terrain. Things like crossbows seem very, very common, but the crossbows aren't like yours. They've kind of got like large square shapes on the top, and it seems that they also house multiple bolts. Some of them have like double, what they called?
Limbs.
Arms, double limbs, so they've got like extra firing power and stuff like that.
I could learn something from these guys.
The weapons are all very different. Whereas before you've kind of seen more traditional kind of, Western swords, here it's very Asian influenced. Also, the Dragonborn all seem to have, the Dragonborn's kind of equipment and clothing is very Egyptian or Syrian, so their swords are curved swords. There's a lot of
blades.
They have curved blades.
Curved blades.
Yes.
Sorry, carry on.
Nice.
What is your problem with me today?
I got that
That
reference.
was a reference.
What is it a reference to?
I think it's Skyrim, isn't it?
Oh yeah, because they talk about the thingy. So yeah.
Are there any Guandao?
Yes, there are a few, some are shorter, some are like long spears, and then a few, not many though. It seems to be a much more kind of like expertise weapon.
Can I grab one of these crossbows we've been talking about?
Yeah,
That'd be good.
yeah.
Like
It counts as a heavy crossbow.
Is there anything special about it?
You're probably not proficient in them.
That's a good point.
But there are smaller versions. There's light crossbows.
I don't want that. It's fine, I'll firebolt people.
Okay.
Hey, I was more just thinking like, that could be a cool like little thing.
Yeah, you can take one if you want. It's just not very.
I don't think they're
You can
necessarily
take one
hand
if you
crossbows.
want, but you have to ask first.
Oh God, I haven't said anything about the crossbows yet.
No,
I
he
was
did.
just-
He
I
was.
was
I think that was Alex
inquiring.
Smith asking if he could
Yeah.
take one.
I assume Jiutou and Adrik are being kind of brought forward with a group of people.
Yes, so the Silver Dragonborn woman, Sanja, is kind of talking with Adrik at length, and he is introducing her to Amaryllis, and you kind of overhear a little bit of the conversation, and you hear sort of like Silver Dragon, some priestess of Bahamut, and Sanja is like in awe of Amaryllis. She starts calling her my lady, and just completely sort of like enveloped by this kind of very almost religious fervor about her. But you can see that she's very, very respectful to Adrik as well. Constantly refers to him as my prince, and is very, very respectful. The Tieflings swarm Jiutou. They come up to her, as more and more kind of see her, they come up to her and they bow and they offer thank you, and there's just a general kind of thing. There's lots of constant thing of like, do you need something to eat? Would you like to have some food? Like they try and pull you aside. Several of them, like some of the younger soul, they look like they've been training warriors, come up and they begin asking you about techniques and things like that. Some of the initial things you told them, they kind of like show you how they've progressed in their own training. Little things like that as you're just kind of making your way through. But eventually they said like, oh, you should come and speak with the one who's been leading us, come and speak with the one who's been leading us. And they bring you into, you're not quite sure what the room probably used to be, but you can see that part of it has collapsed into a cavern. And that cavern seems to have like a shrine built into it. And you can see that kind of in the back of this room, you can see it's hundreds of candles, stone tablets, incense. And then the room that it's kind of connected to has kind of been turned into like a headquarters. And you can see that there is a table with papers and maps. You can see weapons and equipment, barrels full of storage. And then there is also what appears to be like 2 shrines, one of which has been not desecrated, but whatever altar was there has been removed. The other one is of Bahamut, and you can see that shrine remains in place. And you can see that before you. And standing at the table, you see a young tiefling, pinkish kind of skin color, curved horns, and she's wearing loose kind of clothing, short black bob, kind of like chopped around the ears, kind of like quite straight cut hair with a long fringe. And she's there, and she turns as another tiefling rushes up, and Saito kind of moves up to her, like whispers in her ear. And she locks eyes with Jiutou for a minute, and you can see she smiles quite broadly, but you can see she kind of, maybe some tears in her eyes that she's kind of holding back. And then she kind of is like, right, hello everyone. And then she looks at Jiutou. It's good to see you again, Jiutou. And this is Yuan. This is Yuan Yang. And you can see that she's fighting back something, like she's kind of biting her lip, and she's just like, thank you all for coming. Saito has told me about you all before. And Saja has informed us that perhaps Prince Adrik, I believe is the name, and he bows. Adrik kind of takes a long moment of just bowing. Thank you for letting us meet with you here, and for housing my countrymen, and for your help in this rebellion against my twin. It is of great honor, and I understand that this will be difficult for the Tieflings, but I thank you. And he kind of bows very, very deeply, and she just kind of like looks a little bit awkward, and some of the other Tieflings you can see kind of whispering and muttering, and she's just like, well, I can't say I honestly expected the day to see the Prince of Dragonborn helping us, freeing Tieflings, but I certainly didn't expect Jiutou to be by your side, but I guess I've come to learn a lot myself about who you are and your brother. My name is Yuan Yang. I'm kind of looking after this place, I suppose. I'm helping them free Tieflings where we can and do what we can to support this little resistance. If you need anything, I'm sure anybody here will be willing to help. Just make yourselves at home, I guess. We have some bunks and things. It will take a little bit of time to get some supplies together. Let me know what you need. We can do what we can. Saito is particularly good at infiltrating the city, and I'm sure he can offer some assistance and some ideas on that. And then she looks at Jiutou and is like, would you like to have a catch up about things, or?
This whole time, Jiutou's just kind of been stood there, like completely still. Maybe her like hand is shaking a little bit.
You can see that Yuan Yang is definitely sort of like, there's a change in sort of the atmosphere when she looks at Jiutou a little bit.
Just kind of, I open my mouth and then just kind of shut it again, and just nothing comes out.
I'll push forward and like thrust an arm forward, like, Cam Buckland, hero.
Yes, I've
Saved a city moments ago, like a week ago.
Saito, apparently, he's been keeping tabs on things. We heard about a war, but I'm guessing that you survived?
We killed the big bag boss.
Oh yes, we survived.
Yeah, I gathered that, yes.
Most of the town is...
I'm guessing, I meant more the kingdom than individual.
Kingdom stands. It's got a lot of repairs, but it's okay because of us. That's Reynard.
Hello.
That's a Dragon Ball with no tail. He's called Bally.
Balatus. I actually wanted to talk to you, I think, about, you say you have somebody who knows the way in? Or
Yes.
something like that?
She gestures to the male tiefling that initially approached you when you came in. This is Saito is his name. He is an ex-thief, treasure hunter, but he has been helping us with matters. He seems to know ways ins and outs of the city. He's done a number of... he's rescued a number of tiefling slaves and also helped some Dragonborn prisoners.
Well, it sounds like Saito would be a great help in organising something we have coming up.
Yes, what? If you are here to help tieflings and metallic Dragonborn, then we will help.
We are, yeah. Although it's quite a sensitive subject, so your discretion would be appreciated.
We have kept secrets here for some time, my scaly friend. That's what we do.
Excellent.
And yes, if Saito, would you care to speak with this Dragonborn? And he's like, yeah, sure, yeah, come on, let's go.
Well, after this meeting is adjourned or whatever.
Well, I think.
Or should we all talk about it?
Why don't you? I can see that some of your human friends are a little uncomfortable in their clothing. We have changes of clothes if you require them.
When she looks to me, I'm wrigging out my hair onto the floor.
Right. Oh, wow, your people
you
really
have
are
showers?
uncivilized.
Or like a bath.
There can be baths, yes. They
can be.
Yeah, they can be.
So there
yes.
aren't at the moment.
We don't tend to use them very regularly. We are not bothered by the heat as much as you are.
I'm surprised you know what a bath is.
Normally we go, there are oases nearby. I wouldn't recommend it. They are out in the desert, but it'll be quite cold, but I imagine that's kind of what you want right now. Mm-hmm. All right, why don't you go and do that? I will have some people bring some changes of clothes for you. Prince Adrik, I guess, would you and your Dragonborn companions like to assess some of the supplies we have? Yes, that seems reasonable. Why don't you go do that?
Okay.
Great.
Well, before we go, Saito, at some point I'd like to have a word with you as well.
Yeah.
Well, we can have a word together, unless
While
your
this
word is
conversation
private.
is going on, I've disappeared.
Oh.
Make a stealth check. Doesn't matter. Unless you roll a natural one. No.
16 plus stuff.
Yep, she's gone. She's like, you can see this Yuan is looking around like, where did Jiutou go?
Yeah, she does this.
Yeah.
Well, yes, all right, well...
She might be off to find noodles. She hasn't had noodles in, like, forever.
All right, well, I'm going to go search for her. Take a moment, make yourselves comfortable, and shall we reconvene this evening to have a conversation? You can have food, rest, as such as you require it.
Yep.
Very well. All right, and yeah, you are left to your own devices.
I get it now. I get those, like, intense stares, the Mr. Human. I get it. Like, I'm surrounded by tieflings and Dragonborn. It is weird. Mm-hmm. Does it echo in here? Am I thinking aloud?
No, I understand completely. It's very strange.
I think we needed to do this. This is expanding my...
I understand Jiutou much more now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like disappearing all of a sudden. You?
Do you want a bath?
Let's have a bath.
Let's have a bath.
Together?
You two have that conversation.
While the grunt's away.
You are being like, all the other tieflings in the room are just staring at you so strangely, like, what is going on?
Humans.
Where does Jiutou go off to?
Probably the little shrine.
Yeah, that was actually just behind the room that you guys were currently in. So you enter it and you can see that a few more tablets have been added, several more. There is candles and incense. You look around, it doesn't look like the Dragonborn have done anything in this room. It looks like this has been left for the tieflings themselves. There is, occasionally you might find like statues or like little carvings of family figures and things like that. But yours are still in the center, just in front of the shrine itself, right where you left them. It probably takes, how long do you spend in there, do you reckon? Like some time or?
I would probably spend a little bit of time like lighting incense, just kind of, literally just kneeling on the floor and doing some proper prayers. And kind of almost telling my parents what's been going on.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually Lady Amaryllis who finds you. She kind of stands at the edge in her human form, and she just is it all right if I come in?
Of course, my lady.
She steps in and she's just like, I'm not familiar with the exact practices, but I'm assuming this is some sort of shrine for People you've lost, perhaps?
This is where we keep our ancestral tablets for those who we have lost.
I see. And she looks over some of them. It's tragic to see so many. The Bresseras I knew, it's so strange to think that there are Dragonborn doing this, to hear the tales of the slavery and everything else is so awful.
This is only a small amount as well. These belong to those who I managed to bring here.
I'm glad that Adrik asked me to come. I hope that I can be of help in all of this. It seems quite tragic. Are you all right, Miss Jing? You seemed quieter than normal. I'm not blind to how people can be. Has this been difficult for you?
It has. This village, I founded here. When I left the monastery, I vowed to free Tieflings, slay Dragonborn, and I needed a place to bring them, a safe haven. This is it. As I said, this is my life's work.
It's very commendable what you've done. Many of the Tieflings here speak so highly of you. They see you as a hero. You've saved them.
It is somewhat embarrassing.
I'm sure.
I only led them here.
Well, but to them you gave them something that they had not had before. You gave them freedom, which I'm sure is quite important.
That is the name of this village. CEO in Tiefling translates as freedom.
It's good. It's very good. I know it might be strange to have the Dragonborn here, but
Yes.
I've spoken with Saja and Adrik. The things are different in Bresseras. They were perhaps different even when you were here, but you were taken by the worst of them. The Metallics, even some of the Tieflings that you brought here have been talking to me. The Metallics treated them fairly well, considering. This is a problem with Adrik's culture as a whole. The people that are here, I think, are very dedicated to helping, and I hope that it is not too uncomfortable for you. There is a young woman looking for you. I did not want to tell her where you were, but I think that she definitely would like to speak with you. The others are all meeting this evening to discuss our plans to enter the city, so we'll just be out in the war room just beyond here.
Thank you.
She just puts an arm on you, touches you, and you can see she looks around the room, she raises her hand and just mutters a prayer to Bahamut. That kind of sweet incense kind of begins to swirl, and then she kind of bows and leaves, and just leaves you to a silent moment of silence. What about the rest of you? Banathis, did you want to do anything in a few hours? Just go over your own thoughts, or...?
I mean, there's... I need to talk to, but then again, you need to talk to Saito anyway.
Yeah, you guys can find
so
him. Yeah.
If you want to, I don't know whether you wanted to talk to him in private or not.
Well, I just wanted to just talk to him. It wasn't necessarily about plans or anything, so it wasn't like a big meeting or anything. I just wanted to talk to
Well,
him.
if you go and find him, he's basically kind of sat out on... he's actually sat on a guard post outside, and you can see that inside the mountain itself, they've kind of made little holes, like little cubby holes that look out into the valley. And he's kind of got like a crossbow, aimed kind of very casually. He's kind of just got it resting there, and he's eating some sort of bun, almost like a doughy bun with like a sweet meat filling that he can smell.
My turn.
He's just like, nom, nom, nom. He's just eating on that.
So we're both there. Are we?
Yeah, if you go looking for him, that's where you find him.
Yeah.
So.
Saito, when was it we last spoke? It must have been outside Velderbarn, I imagine.
So Jiutou and I got teleported away or something. I can't remember.
Yes.
Yeah, we got teleported away. No, we went back to Talis Val. I came back to Talis Val with you, and then I fucked off.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it's just when we met, you had some allegiances with the Broken Sky.
No. They had employed me and then promptly stabbed me in the back and almost killed me, which I considered to be a major violation of my contract, and so I turned on them.
Okay.
If you will remember.
I do remember that. It was. Thank you for the help, by the way. It's
all
just.
right.
I
got gold out of it.
I know that you're doing this noble cause now, but is this just a contract to you?
No, it's not. Jiutou said some things which made me reconsider a lot. I don't know if you remember, but I lost my family to the Dragonborn, and I thought I should only care about myself, and meeting somebody that cared about our people, I don't know, made me think about things. So, yeah, now I'm helping get people out.
Well, it's nice to know you've had a change of mind in these matters.
Well, sometimes it takes meeting the right people.
So proud of him.
By the way, you're holding the crossbow completely wrong.
Well, it's because I don't really, like... Do you see any... No evil dragonborn out there?
Well, what if there is?
Then I'll shoot them.
All right, fine.
Speaking of Dragonborn, hello.
Hello.
I'm Valatis.
From the
I believe we met briefly, yeah?
We did. I would like to talk to you about any insight you may have into gaining entrance to the city.
Yeah,
I hear
definitely.
you're an accomplished espionage agent, shall we say?
I was a thief.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no.
what I'm getting
You
at.
don't need to beat around the bush with me.
Okay.
No, I used to be a thief. I took on a few contracts, stole a few valuables here and there. Yeah, there's a few options. I've done a bunch of different raids. The security on the gates has become trickier. Now that the Chromats are more in charge, they're much more aggressive in their searchings.
Right.
However, what I've found is, first of all, they're very arrogant. They see a tiefling. If you act like a slave, they'll treat you like a slave, and generally they'll just ignore you, unless you're somewhere really where you're not supposed to be. But then that's where other arts come into play, being able to move about unseen, etc. One of the ones which I found particularly useful is the river gate. It's not as closely guarded as the two land gates as much. It's trickier for them to check the whole contents of barges and canal boats coming down.
Yeah.
There also happens to be a sewer entrance around that area. Refuse from the city flows out down into the downstream of the river. If you're not afraid of getting a bit mucky, then it's quite easy. I've already shimmied some of the bars off. You just need to pull those out, place them back on your way in. Gives you direct access into the main city square.
Excellent. That sounds like a...
Doesn't go to the Imperial Palace or anywhere important, mind you.
Right.
They carry their refuse out by... They have slaves carry it out by hand and empty it into the open grates. But it will get you close.
Well, we have alternate plans to carry on from there on.
Good.
So it's useful.
Yeah, I would
Well, that would
recommend-
give us access to the city. Then from there, yeah, I guess we kind of wing it.
Best bet is if you can take a get up toward near the city to get to the river, jump in the river, swim down, get in the sewer grate,
Where does the river start? Well,
up in the mountains, up in the worm jaws.
So we can actually
north.
take the river, or at
All the
least
way
we
down,
can,
yeah.
We can try and float all the way there.
Yeah, definitely.
If we take that river, is it going to be a steady journey? I imagine it's filled with waterfalls and...
No, it runs through the desert. It's pretty calm, fairly fast-paced, but the only problem with the river is it is watched, as in terms of along the banks they have various kind of outposts. As long as you don't look suspicious. If you just look like a trader, you'd be all right.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely dress up a barge to look
Yeah.
right.
I can definitely source yourself. I can get you a barge. If we go up to one of the northern encampments,
Yeah.
wouldn't be too hard for me to get a small cargo barge.
Do you have any good ideas of how to disguise me and Cam?
No.
Right.
I mean, my job is I sneak out Dragonborn or Tieflings.
Yeah.
Don't really have to worry about disguises. I mean, clothes and stuff, sure. I've a few pigments that can change a Dragonborn's colour temporarily.
Okay.
Physical disguises, but yeah, for you two, you're going to need magic, or you're going to need. Can you? I don't know, hide in a box for like a day, or.
I mean, I can. It's Cam. He's restless. He'll start screaming
I'm
or
having
something.
a bath somewhere else.
No, he's not there. So.
I know. Cam will start screaming, think he's been imprisoned or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's the tricky thing, but. We can talk more. We can discuss more tonight when we meet for the.
Yeah.
council.
By the way, you owe me 30 gold.
No, I'm afraid I don't.
You owe me 30 gold, Saito.
I don't remember that. No.
Wow.
I meant you were 60. I came out with 30.
Oh, well, that sounds like you've got a problem with keeping track of your gold. Rich people have a problem with that, from what I tell. Always
Does
like
sound you've
spending
got a
it.
hole in your pocket.
Yes.
I'd like
You should get your pockets sewn up.
It's been plenty sewn up. I'd like the 30 gold at some point. Please.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Fine.
You know what you should do? Keep a closer eye on your pockets. Thieves are everywhere.
They are. They are.
Hands on my pockets now.
You have no money, so.
I've got nothing in there. But
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys want to do anything
the
else.
boat. I like the boat plan.
Okay.
Can we go and can we meet the rest of the group and apprise
Well,
them?
is there
or-
anything anybody else wants to do before you meet up?
Soak until I'm a raisin. Like,
I mean,
proper crinkly.
the water like starts off nice and cool and chill, and then the more time you spend in it, like the higher temp, like it just
Really strange. It should get colder. I'm gonna get out.
Okay.
And
Dress. So the clothes that they've left out
give
for
me
you.
clothes?
Yeah, they'll basically give you desert clothes. So basically like loose flowing robes,
Big.
kind of a headdress, like a head wrap.
Like a face.
Yep.
So Lawrence of Arabia.
Very Lawrence of Arabia style kind of like clothing and
Badass.
stuff. Yeah.
What color is it? White?
Yeah, it would be like a creamy sandy color. Yeah.
Mine's dyed slightly darker.
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
need to-
sneaking around at night and stuff.
In
But
shadows.
it also like yours is quite plain, but you have seen some of the Dragonborn wearing ones with like trim. A lot of them wear jewelry as well, or like very rich silks as like waistbands and things like that.
We're very
Anything loose and
decadent
airy.
people.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you can see like gold like necklaces and rings and like adornments for their horns and stuff like that.
I put the full thing on, but I put my bandana over the top, and also my purple sash.
You can use the purple sash. Yeah, the bandana looks a bit weird over
Yeah.
the top of a headdress.
I want people to
thing,
know
really.
it's me.
To be honest, bandanas look weird in any scenario.
No, not in this world.
Especially this one.
They also, the same thing applies for you. They leave you out clothes and things like
Is
that.
it hotter at night here?
No, it's cold.
Okay.
It's the
Is that a
desert.
thing?
It's a desert.
What,
Yeah,
when
it gets
somewhere's
really
hotter
cold.
at night than it is
I
in the
feel like that was
day.
a thing. I thought I was going to say before I said that this is a dumb question, but I forgot to include that bit.
Got the
No,
pre.
I
it gets
feel like
cold
that was
at
a
night.
thing.
You are told it gets quite cold at night.
Okay.
But yeah, tieflings generally have like lots of fires and like they've got thick like,
Okay.
blankets and stuff.
They can start fires.
Yeah.
I am on fire.
Did you want to do anything?
Yeah.
Are you going to try and find Yuan?
She'll probably be in her room. Honestly,
She actually isn't in a. She generally find her actually looking after the village, checking that everything's okay. She's constantly like she knows everybody's names, and when you find her, she's probably just finishing up, just dealing with a few injured, like probably people that came back from a recent raid.
I'm just awkwardly standing there, like trying to.
She kind of turns around. And is like, oh, hey, you. She kind of steps. She takes a few steps and she kind of takes a deep breath. I really want to be mad at you for running away, but I'm not.
I didn't run away.
That's what it felt like to me. You left. You didn't really say why. I've gathered why, but you just left. And I should be mad, but I'm not. I'm just glad you're alive. I'm glad you didn't get yourself killed in some suicidal mission for revenge or trying to rescue people. I'm glad that you've obviously met allies to help you, but I'm still kind of mad.
That is understandable.
But you're just a grumpy old man, so what can I really do about it?
At that, I'm just her calling me that. I'm just gonna kind of smirk and just like.
She kind of like, the tension relieves a little bit and she just kind of steps in, wraps her arms around you, just kind of like rests her head against your shoulder and is just like, I'm glad you're okay.
I'm just gonna like awkwardly sort of like genuine hug, but just sort of like I'm still kind of a bit mad too.
Yeah,
Just like, but really glad that she's safe.
yeah. So,
I am glad to see that you did not run this village to ruin.
well, of course not, you
You
know.
appear to have let some Dragonborn in though.
Well, they reached out to us. We were doing a raid. Me and some of the others.
Why were you doing a raid?
Well, because who
I
else was gonna
told
do it?
you were not to go out.
Yeah, well, and then you left, so somebody had to do it. So I went, and yeah, there was this Dragonborn who was imprisoned, and some were trying to get him out. There was a scuffle. They ended up saving us. They ended up helping us fight off some of these chromatic types. We didn't really have a much choice. I felt responsible for them. They got involved with us, so I helped them. We got talking, said that there were others like them, others that wanted to fight back, others that realized that they'd been lied to about who we were, what we could do. And we started reaching out to people. I met Saja. She is great. She understands our situation and she is so sorry for everything we've been put through that she wants to make it right. And she told me all about Adrik and who he really was. And that's when I realized I thought you might have gone off to kill the wrong person, but I couldn't get hold of you. I couldn't message you.
I did almost kill the wrong Dragonborn.
Of course you did.
I met him. I attacked him.
I'm not surprised.
They stopped me
Good.
and explained the situation. But you know why I've returned.
Yes.
the real Korak was here all along.
Yes, and ultimately, it's because of him and the Church of Tiamat that everything is the way it is. Saja believes that if we can take out both, if we can put this Adrik back on the throne, everything will change.
Yes. I want you to understand, I'm not back here solely for revenge.
Good. Then
I
you've
am-
grown.
I am back here because Adrik taught me. He taught me that I was perhaps wrong in my anger. And my friends did too.
Sorry, hang on. Stop a second. Did Jiutou just use the word friends?
Yes.
You have friends?
the
She
humans.
just kind of like smirks a little bit.
The humans. There is an elf as well.
I'm glad.
And a drow.
I'm glad. I'm glad that you have made some friends. That you are not... God, how do they put up with grumpy Jiutou all the time?
Well, I suppose I should consider calling them friends, since they brought me back to life.
Sorry, what?
I died.
And you can see, like, she kind of raises it like she wants to slap you, and she's like, continue.
I was foolish, and I was arrogant, and I was angry.
She takes the hand back. Again, not entirely surprising.
I attacked an enemy I could not defeat, and I died. However, I met a master, Master Guan Yin, and she taught me how to channel that anger.
Good.
I suppose I am sorry for leaving you.
I suppose that's the best I'm going to get, isn't it?
I perhaps should not have said some of the things that I said when I left. And I am sorry I did not tell you where I was.
It doesn't matter now. You're back, you're safe, and maybe we can finally put all of this to an end. I'm just glad you're okay too. And she just kind of like leans her head against your shoulder and just kind of wraps an arm around your shoulders. She takes a few moments. There's a brief moment of silence of just you kind of sat there together, you know, for a moment, and then she kind of like sits back up. She's like, right, well, we need to talk to the others. We need to make plans. This is going to be difficult, but we can figure things out.
You will not be involved.
I'm
You will not be coming to Bresseras.
not coming to Bresseras, but if you don't think I'm going to be involved, you're dead wrong. Do you think that you can just do everything with what, just you? No. You don't know the network that we've built. You don't know the allies that we've gained.
Fair, but you are not to put yourself in danger.
I'm not going to. I went on that raid once, and I know I don't need to do it again. I'm not a fighter.
Good.
Saito will probably come with you for a part of it, but don't count on him in a big fight.
I am aware of Saito's abilities.
Yes, he has been useful for getting people in and out, but the few skirmishes we've had, we generally try and just run. So none of us here are really adapted to fighting. What we can do is help you get in and out of the city without being noticed. That's what we've built here, and that's what we can accomplish.
Agreed.
Right. So, after that conversation, I'm annoyed that he's not here.
I'm in the shadows now.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's gone for a piss.
He'll be back.
Yeah, he
It's
better.
a new boy thing.
Yeah, it's-
Tiny
it's the
bladder.
new boy thing of like tiny bladder syndrome. Like he's got to strengthen that
Or
RP bladder.
Potentially cramped colon. Who knows?
Who knows? The bog
Did he eat
beast.
a
The
lot of-
bog beast might have returned. He did eat a lot of chicken.
yeah.
I'm going to swan around in my full outfit,
Yeah.
seeing if anyone notices me.
Okay.
I'm going to like have my arms wrapped up and see if anyone notices that I'm a human. I'm just going to walk around.
I mean, compared to everyone else, are you like super overly wrapped up? Like, I
I'm
guess
trying
the-
to really wrap up.
So you
Apart
first
from my
of all,
eyes.
there are a few tieflings that are like giggling and laughing and pointing at you. The Dragonborn actually, any of the Dragonborn present don't really seem to notice. They just see
I'm like,
a
"Tiefling."
vaguely humanoid shape and they're like, nah, it's probably a tiefling.
Tiefling coming through.
When you speak, then everyone definitely notices.
Ready?
Yeah.
I'm just going to appear and be like, Cam,
Whoa! Hello. You disappeared. Where'd you go?
places.
I'm gonna
catching up
pull
with
it
you.
down. Go down there with me, and
It's the thought Ragnarok is like, not when I do this.
it's exactly. You noticed.
Yes. You are the only person in the place with a green bandana and a purple sash.
Oh yeah, I'll put them on the outside. Forgot about that. So that you knew it would be me. Otherwise, I'd just blend in.
You have no tail nor any horns.
Could be wrapped around my leg, like the,
I just look around at all the tieflings with their tails, just like...
Yeah. The tieflings
like
tend to
what
wear like a
else?
looser head. They don't wear like a full head wrap, or if they do, they have holes where their horns stick out.
Maybe I should get some horns.
Some of their horns have been blunted as well, like,
Yeah,
because they're
they've been chopped off and
ex-slaves,
stuff.
so...
Do you reckon there's anyone here that have snapped off their horns that I could borrow?
Snapped off their horns.
Yeah. Is that like a fashion choice?
No. The tieflings you see here, and I kind of like, a youngster, I'll kind of go, come here.
You're not gonna hurt. You're not gonna punch her, are you?
Tell Mr. Human how
like
your
looks at
horns
you.
how your horns came to be as they are.
Dragon Man like chopped them off when I said that I wouldn't. When I was tired, I was like hauling stones, and I said I was tired, and then he chopped off one of my horns.
Oh my God. Okay, I get it.
But then Miss Jing came and saved me, and she's like,
Okay, that's enough.
and like, blah, 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 and I start telling a story, and then you like shove it away.
You truly are a hero in this town.
Yes, not a hero.
Well, you kind of are.
No.
You child. Another one.
Stop that.
How did Jiutou save you?
Stop that.
This one is like, she didn't. And it seems to be more of a more
maybe
recent
not.
child.
Might not be a hero.
Mr. Saito did, and like gets shuffled off by its parent or whatever.
So proud of that man.
I didn't know he was going to come here and do something good. It's kind of nice. Unless he's getting money. Is he getting money?
Probably.
Yeah. That's a good enough motive. So, you prepared?
Yes. Always.
Is Reynard around?
Is Reynard around?
Oh!
Hey,
Hey, Reynard!
looked
didn't
the
see me.
other
I had the.
Did you have a bath?
Have you wrapped any of your yellow and black crap around?
Yeah, I mean, I've got my cloak, I guess, that I can sort of fashion into a belt, I suppose, that I've sort of wrapped around, and I can't really keep much of my puffy, velvety stuff.
take it off.
But I've got like a belt. I've got belts and satchels and things that I've sort of kept as well.
So you're keeping the velvet on?
No. That's the bits I've taken off.
Right.
So there's not much, like you've got your sash and bandana and all those different bits
You don't have
adorn
anything
over the
that's
top.
recognisable.
Not really.
Apart from the fact that he's the only other human?
Yeah,
It's obvious.
yeah, well, I'll do my best. We were going to get disguises anyway. I think that was the plan, wasn't it?
Yeah. Don't ask about their horns.
Well, the horns, I don't like talking about any extremities on any females.
That's a lie.
Gentlemen,
Yes?
a serious moment, if you will. I know it is hard for you.
Also,
That was not timed. I'm sorry. Right, hang on.
A serious moment.
You were saying?
yes, really, I understand now being out of place. Yeah, being the only one of two humans in a whole village of tieflings and dragonborn.
A lot of stairs,
A lot of stairs.
Mr. Human.
Yeah, it makes me want to just stay silent and stare back
Wonderful.
and be a little bit like,
If you could channel that,
I like being looked at. Don't get me wrong. I like being looked at.
I'm just gonna like,
Well,
if you could channel that need to be quiet for a moment. You humans have been accommodating enough to introduce me to your families. I would like you to introduce you to mine. However, where we are going is a very, very, very sacred place. And I need your respect, not your tomfoolery.
yeah, Reynard.
And I'll lead you both to the shrine.
So as you pass through the war room, you can see that some of them are getting set up for this meeting. You can see Adrik and that are there. And then Lady Amarith isn't there. It's mainly Adrik, Yuan, and some of the other Dragonborn, including Saja. But you are led through, and it actually kind of like Jiutou kind of passes through, and you can see that there was probably a collapsed wall, and there's like a large hole that's been sort of like channeled out of it. And as it steps in, you can see this is probably once part of the natural cave system that connects to the fort. And yeah, you see this room full of candles and incense and stone tablets, kind of these kind of tablets with written in infernal, basically like an infernal language written onto it. And you can see that it is very quiet and yeah, it seems very undisturbed. And in the very center, in front of this main shrine, you can see 2 tablets in particular on a cloth with candles and incense. In particular, they kind of stand out in this very central area.
All right. I'm just going to very daintily walk behind Jiutou.
So this was a Bahamut?
No, this is
sorry,
separate from the fortress. This is like a cave.
He laid an egg. Dragonborn.
Anyway,
These
carry on.
attitudes, man.
Yeah, so what's your reaction on kind of going...
I'm just waiting on a cue from you. I'm literally standing behind you.
Yeah, I
as your
think we're
shadow.
both almost as awkward as each other, like kind of very...
I'm trying to copy your mannerisms.
Yeah.
I'll just very gently kind of motion you to where the 2 main tablets are.
You're not there. Where's your figure?
I'll be like, Mr. Cam Buckland, Mr. Reynard Ferrohorn, these are my parents. Of course, before you say, Cam, they're not my actual parents. These are the ancestral tablets of my parents. These are all I have left. We believe in coming and praying here, we can talk to our ancestors, to those we've lost. Of course, it's not an actual conversation, but for me, I have told them about you two, and of Allura and Trelemar. I would like you to meet them.
I will step forward and I'll do a very Jiutou bow to both the tablets. Mr. Zing, Mrs. Zing, it's an honor to meet you both in your tablet form. You got a good one here, and it's good. It's good to know her. Jiutou's doing great, and keeping her under control. She's going to kill a king, so you should be proud of her.
What he means is Jiutou is more... She's done very well.
Right up, put your hands by side.
Sorry. She's done very well, and she...
And she will be a glorious one.
So, as Cam is attempting to finish his sentence, you hear echoing through the chamber that you entered to enter the shrine area. You hear a pulse of magic, a kind of, and you see like a flash of light, and you begin to hear cries. Balthus, you, Adrik, and Yuan are out in the war room readying for this meeting when you see in kind of like 2 swirling gateways in corridors leading into this fort, this kind of, this gateway appears, and stepping out of it, you would actually see this one as well. He would be sort of tucked behind here. You see 5 figures, 3 in one portal, 2 in the other. 3 dragonborn, 1 red, 1 blue, 1 green, 1 white, and 1 black. You, Balthus, are the only one to recognize these. You have heard of them and you've seen them. These are the Hand of Tiamat. They are an elite assassination squad of each of the 5 heads of Tiamat, one that represents each of their heads. And they are known for taking out priority targets as required. The red one, who is wearing, you can see wearing full plate armor. He has a glaive in his hands, like a long pole arm similar to a guandao. And as he steps forward, so this is where your little rebellion has been hiding, Prince Adrik. Speaking next to him, a green female dragonborn in robes. High Priestess Visca has been aware of this place for some time, but never considered it to be much of a threat until you and your little friends decided to drop by. We always knew that this would be a likely location for you to return, and we have been dispatched to return you to the Imperial Palace. The other ones, the white dragonborn doesn't really seem to speak and actually has like mouth clamps over its jaw, like iron bands kind of around its jaw. And you can see it's wearing like chainmail and it has like a shield and a big battle axe. And you can just hear it like kind of getting really aggressive. And then beside that, there is a blue one also wearing robes. But this is a male and he's kind of just holding a clawed hand up to his snout. And he's just like kind of stroking like the little kind of tendrils off of his chin. And then there appears to be like a shadowy black scaled figure behind the red and green one, but they don't seem to know anything. I would very much like everyone to roll initiative. I'm sorry, dude. Like, what do you want? What do you want from me?
My life's work!
Yep.
Oh shit.
You think that this would escape the notice of Tiamat?
We're so small.
Oh, well, are you though? That's the thing.
Solid.
So, Balithas, initiative, please.
6.
6. Cam Buckland.
13.
13. Jiutou.
19.
Reynard.
18.
18. Well, I am pleased to say that Miss Jiutou, you are first.
I'm so angry right now.
So you hear this pulse. You haven't seen this, but you have heard something, and you probably hear Yuan kind of gasp and scream a little. You hear blades being drawn.
I think the second I hear Yuan
Scream.
I will immediately rush out.
Okay. You got 50 feet, right?
55.
55, fine.
Whoa,
10, 15,
55
20,
days.
25, 30.
Jeez.
Monk
So,
though.
as soon as you get here, that's about 25 feet of movement. That's where you see this white dragonborn in armor, clawed, five-headed dragon symbol kind of on its chest, looming out. Korak is turning with a blade to face 3 more dragonborn that appear to have been assigned. And you can see that there is dark intent. You can see them drawing weapons, beginning to cast spells, and it is about to kick off.
That's a kick off.
On. Okay, I'm going to. So, I guess the white one is
Yep,
nearest
he's the
to
closest one.
Yuan?
Yep.
So I will.
So you sprint up, Guandao,
I
in
would
hand.
like to go into Void Dance.
Yep.
Oh wait, no, actually, there's not much point, is there, right now? Because I'm just gonna smash her up.
Okay,
Smash
so no
it up.
stance. You just come in with a Guandao. First
Yeah.
attack.
I'm just gonna scream something as well, like Yuan Yang, run to safety.
Yep. You see her kind of react. For the rest of you, if you can try and think about what you want to do so we can get through this quick.
20.
Starting this a bit later than I wanted. 20 against Grak. Yes, hits.
So that is 7, 8, 9, 10 regular and 6 radiant.
Okay, 16. So the first blow kind of strikes him. And you can see he wants to open his jaw, but it's clamped shut. And he's kind of bringing up his shield.
I will extra. 16 plus 12.
Yeah, that hits. I was going to say, he can increase his AC by 3 against an attack. No, that's not going to do anything.
9 plus 2 radiant.
So 11 total. Yep. So again, the second strike he blocks it, but you can see it's kind of got him on the back foot. The blue one behind him is just like, come now, Grak, deal with her.
I'm going to flurry.
Okay, key point. 2 unarmed strikes.
And I would also, if one of the flurries hits, stunning strike it.
Okay, yep. Yeah, you can announce stunning strike after you hit.
So 26 to hit.
Hits, you can't do anything about that. So do damage, and then I'll make a Constitution saving throw.
9 regular, 5 radiant. So
You don't do radiant on the unarmed strike, don't you?
oh yes, sorry, yeah.
So it's just 9 radiant. And then stunning strike, I rolled a 16 on the con save.
Con save is.
Do you know what the DC is?
16.
16, so he passes technically, fortunately.
One more hit then.
One more stunning strike, one more unarmed strike.
19 to hit.
19. Actually, he's still going to hit him even if he uses his parry, so that hits. And are you stunning striking that one as well?
Yep.
That one is a 13, so he fails that one. How much damage?
So that was 8 damage, and he is stunned until the next.
So you watch as
until my
Jiutou
turn.
kind of flies in. Balithas, you probably see this for the first time. She spins this Guandao around, 2 lightning quick strikes, 1 punch into his chest, and then as he kind of roars his head back, her hand shoots out, jabs him in the throat, and his body seems to lock up, and he's kind of doesn't really know where he is. This white dragonborn stumbling around.
So he can't take actions or reactions. He automatically fails strength and dex save throws. And all attacks against him have advantage.
Korak.
You've basically like stunned him completely.
Yeah, stunned him completely.
Until the end of my turn.
Korak draws forth his Dawnblade. He's just like, I'm aware of who you are and who you serve. Your Dark Queen shall find no purchase here. Ah! And he charges forward.
Banging.
First attack hits.
Kicking.
Second attack hits. This is going to be... I'm just going to roll all this together. He appears to be attacking the one in red. You can see he's kind of got like similar armor and style designs to Korak. So that's 13 plus 8.
Whoa.
Whoa. I've got so much crazy shit. I've never had a left 15 character before, and I'm just like, all right, how can I do this?
How can I do with this? Right, so after Korak's go, Reynard.
Okay, I'm going to rush forward. I've got 30 feet of movement.
You can see Korak slams the blade against this red dragonborn and its armor, and he kind of brings his shield up, and the two of them are kind of clashing against each other.
Nice.
5, 6, so I go to about here.
Yep.
Yeah, goodbye, Jiutou's parents. Speak to you in a bit.
Bless you.
And I
Do
will.
delicately, like, but very speedily.
I don't move fast enough that any of my garments would
Just
blow
like-
out any candles. I want to
Bless you.
throw Axel
Yes.
to basically assist Jiutou, so it's
Okay.
here. And
So make an attack with Axul
that will make a that'll make
with
a super
advantage
quick. Oh yeah.
because he's stunned.
That is 21.
Hits.
1d6 plus 4. 5 damage.
Okay.
Um,
Flying bejeweled scimitar cuts into the white dragonborn.
and then I want to. So of these 3 that I can see,
Yes.
what is the dark one at the back?
So he appears to be a black dragonborn, like black scales, but he's kind of got like a hood up, and you can see him kind of like skulking.
Okay. And of the 3, who looks like the big, tough boys?
Red. Red is wearing full plate armor. He's got a shield. He looks very similarly armed. Well, but he doesn't have a shield, sorry. He has this glaive. He looks, heavily armed, heavily armored, and he's the one that first spoke when they entered.
Okay. Well, I can't Hunter's Mark him anyway, but I want to use a volley
Okay.
to hit all 3.
Yep. So that's your action.
And
So you make an attack against each one of them.
they haven't actually moved yet, so I can get advantage on their shots as well.
That's true.
Oh, good.
So this is against the red.
So that was 22.
Hits.
I'll do the other 2 as well.
So this is against green.
Yeah. That's 20.
Yep.
Oh, that's super cocked. Well, that's a natural 1, but advantage gives me a 2. So
Wow.
15
Tasty.
Against the
against
black.
the black one.
No, that one he just kind of behind him.
Oh.
But the other one does hit.
Okay, so the first one against the red would get thunder damage. So
Yes.
a d8. So that's 5, 4, 9, 15 damage.
Yep.
Um,
Kind of stuns him, sends him shuddering back. Blah!
and then the one at the back gets 11 damage.
Oh, does not like that.
No, not the one at the back, the green ones.
Yeah, green one. So yeah, sorry, I'm tracking who you hit. Okay, so you kind of step out and you do all of that. Then we go to the evil dragonborns. So the one in red is just like, Prince Adrik, I have long desired to test my skills against you. And then he lashes up with his glaive, which kind of brightly glows with a divine radiance. His glaive hits, and you can see it kind of erupts with blinding light. So it's going to be 2 plus.
Hot.
Adrik is like thrown back and he's just like, ah! And you can see that he seems to have been blinded. Like this bright light kind of just pulses and Adrik's like, ah, what have you done, trickster? And he's like stumbling back. And then he basically, Adrik, he's going to basically kind of step around him and step into the room and just be like, he turns around and he's like, Radesh, deal with him. And then he's going to turn his attention and probably... He'll use his dreadful aspect. So could Balithis and Jiutou please make wisdom saving throws, please?
I thought he was reddish.
No, Radish is the black.
Balithis, you say?
Yes, could you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
26.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, like 6?
6. So as he steps forward, you sense this kind of wave of this kind of wave of dark energy, and Balathis, you realize all these flooding memories of being tortured, of Tiamat come flooding back. You are frightened of this fellow, so you are currently frightened, which means if you attack him, you have disadvantage on attack rolls, and you have to move away from him. Jiutou, you feel it. No, not today, not in this place. You stand firm. Yuan does, however, seem terrified and is just backing up towards what appears to be like a kind of little balcony area, and she's just backing up away from this figure desperately. Strangely, Korak doesn't seem to be affected. Like, he just seems to be immune to the effect. Right, then, God, there's so many fucking things. So the blue Dragonborn will just kind of step forward and edge its way, try and edge past Jiutou. You do get an attack of opportunity against him though.
Cut a leg.
Is it 15?
15 is going to hit, annoyingly.
So that is what's
19.
6 plus 7?
Oh,
13.
13, and then plus 6, so 19
19.
total.
So that seems to, you swipe at him and he stumbles and he's like, damn slave. As he steps here,
Oh, bitch!
he points at you and Reynard, and he kind of watch as a bolt of lightning launches out from his hand. Can you both make dexterity saving throws for me, please? Because he doesn't know fucking about evasion.
Do I get advantage on that?
You don't
or
get
is it just
advantage, but if
yeah.
you succeed, evasion has its own effects.
16.
19.
16, 19. Okay, so for once you actually fail, but you still take half damage because of evasion. You succeed. Do you have evasion?
I do. I take 0 damage.
You take 0 damage. So,
Oh, evasion twins here.
yeah,
Is that a feat?
it's a class ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. For this
I'm a
level.
monk,
Why
yo.
do you both have it?
Ranger and monk, they just both get it.
Ah.
Yeah. I had a choice of 3 things when I.
So
got
where
to
were
level
you,
40.
where you would take half damage on a successful save, you now take 0.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
yeah, and half damage on a fail.
And half damage on a fail.
Yeah, so I failed, so I take half.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy good.
Can other classes get it or not? 'Cause
You
I
can
imagine
take it as
on
a feat
tank,
instead
that-
No,
of
it's
an
not a
ability.
feat. It's not
Is
a
it
feat.
not?
No.
Alright.
So
And
you
you've
have
thrown
to
me off
be
my
a-
numbers.
Sorry.
It's just a class thing.
Of a ranger or a monk.
15 points of lightning
I had a
damage.
choice
That's
of
already
3
halved.
things that I could take.
Can, when he zaps me with that, can I just glare at him, just take it and be
Yeah, you do.
Call
You kind
me
of
a
look at him. You're like,
what?
you kind of have to tense your body for a moment, but yeah, Reynard just kind of rolls, does like a Dark Souls roll to the side, like.
That's how I roll. That's how I move.
It's exactly the same roll every time.
Sometimes just rolls
Does
into
that.
walls.
Yeah, just 'cause-
And then the white Dragonborn is stunned. It does nothing, so that's an easy turn for me.
Classic.
Is that Sonic?
Cam Buckland.
I'm going to be really quick, bow, bow. And then 5, 10,
Am I blocking this part?
15, 20,
He can move through
25.
you. You can be.
Can I share?
Not really, but yes, sure. You're really awkwardly kind of
So did
standing over him.
Did Jiutou put the tablets in this sort of mausoleum thing?
This was to represent the
Yeah.
shrine. Yeah.
Right, okay, cool.
It's a sacred place.
I'm looking around. I'm trying to look for the brutish one.
The white dragonborn. The white dragonborn looks dumb as shit, but he's kind of stunned at the moment. The other kind of more brutish one is the one in the red, who's wearing the full armor, who blinded Korak.
I'm going to be like, piss off and polymorph the
Okay.
white one.
Wait, what class are you?
Cleric,
I'm a cleric.
Trickster cleric.
Wisdom saving
So
throw.
you
Wisdom
get
saving
Solomon.
throw. That's an 11.
18.
Turns into a.
Chicken. Simple. Let's keep it simple.
I'm going to leave him there because there are ways that potentially they can dispel it. Don't hurt the chicken. So as you say that, so you've taken your action, bonus action.
Bonus action, I will summon a spiritual weapon.
Okay, sure.
And fling it at the blue
Sure.
one.
Have you got enough space? Yeah, 5, 10.
It's only a 3.
Yep, you can do
plus, 13.
13 is enough, actually.
Oh, shit.
This guy doesn't. He's wearing robes. He doesn't seem particularly tough to hit.
I feel like in the desert that's going to be
11.
a recurring thing.
11 points.
Yeah, it
Nice.
turns out it's pretty hot around here.
Yeah, that one seemed to be like,
I might need that.
your pathetic god will offer you no service here.
Blah, blah, blah.
The green one, who's been kind of lingering at the back, you can see her. She raises her arms up, these claws, and in the center of the room, I think catching all of you,
Fucking what?
20-foot radius sphere.
Oh, fuck.
20-foot radius sphere.
Does that include enemies?
20,
yeah, that hits pretty much everybody.
You'll target it basically here. So
I think that
she
also
hits-
hits Ray.
It doesn't hit. It doesn't hit Korak. If she puts it here, yeah, it will do. No, in fact, she could put it 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, she could put it there. 20. Oh, but then it won't hit Jiutou.
I'm
She's gonna
cool
put
with
it-
that.
No, she's going to put it here. Yeah, in fact, so she can catch 20. She does catch blue, but she catches basically everybody
What about
on this side.
white?
White as well, yeah.
What about me?
Yep, it does as well.
All my
What is it?
spells.
It'd basically be 5, 10, 15, 20. So yeah, it would, because it's basically like a big, like that. So you watch as this poisonous yellow fog basically engulfs all around you. Everyone can make you Constitution saving throws, please. Everyone's favourite, especially Balithis, bless him.
Yeah, especially since I just rolled a natural 1.
With what is that with a -1?
sorcery
That's a 0, isn't it?
No, my Constitution's +4.
Oh, okay. Oh, because
So
your
that-
saving throw is,
it's,
yeah.
natural
Yeah.
1.
I mean, you still add it, but it's not. It's not.
Balthus have an ability to,
Oh, what kind of cloud is this?
This is a poison.
Is it acid based?
It's poison based, not
Okay.
acid based.
Oh, I'm immune to poison.
In that case, you don't take any damage.
I rolled 21 anyway.
So 10.
Can I have your roll?
you could stop it.
So, what'd you get on your Constitution saving
Oh,
throw?
I could, yeah.
What'd you get on Constitution saving throw?
18.
Fucking count spell.
Are you counterspelling?
Yeah.
What level would you like to counterspell at?
Oh.
What does it start at?
3.
Third
Basically,
level.
if you-
I will let-
When you cast a spell using a spell for, I will cast it at level 8.
Fucking hell.
What the hell?
8 counterspell?
I want to stop this shit. Yeah.
Okay.
My
So,
character's very much built around
being clever.
being.
So
I don't have to high level.
you watch this spellcaster begin to weave the spell. You just
Yep.
turn, you focus your draconic energy, and you snuff it out. And as it kind of, she's like, that one is a mage. Kill it. And
I look
she,
behind. Yeah.
you look behind you, and yeah, nothing seems to take
Kill the
effect.
prick.
Remains. She will just
I need to get chicken stats up. I know.
over here.
Is it good to know his HP?
Probably not high. It's a chicken.
Balithis,
Yeah.
you'll go.
Yes. Right. Time for some of my tricks of my own. I reach into my pocket and
Pocket sand.
and throw 10 small figurines out onto the floor. They're like little army men.
Oh, good.
And I use animate objects
Oh
on it.
my god.
All right, so animate object comes out, and I sort of I laugh to myself. Go, my minions! And I throw a load of objects onto the floor. These objects come to life at my command. I can tell you the stats if you want them.
No, well, yeah,
So,
you're just going to roll
1
this for me.
HP.
So what is it? How many did you get? Is it
I'm going
10
to say
tiny?
10 small.
10 smalls,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. 10 small.
Oh,
so,
man. Yep.
They each have +6 to hit and 1d8 +2 damage.
Yep.
They also have an HP of 25, an AC of 16, strength
Toy
of 6,
soldiers.
and
Toy soldiers.
They're
animated
small, so
toy
they're
soldiers.
actually quite, they're like a
1d8
child
plus 2.
size. They're
Oh,
like,
well, I've got a load in my pocket, so if you want them tiny, then.
okay, yeah, it'd be tiny.
It's just the tiny ones where it's just such a pain in the ass to deal with statistically.
Well, how about we can say they're tiny, but we'll use the stats for the small ones.
Excellent.
All right.
They're easier to hit.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
So
Oh my god.
here we are.
Right, so you've
how
got
do you
10
wanna
of
do
these
this?
things. Yeah, like make
Okay.
10 attack rolls. They're tiny, so they won't take up anybody's space, so you can
So
choose.
I'll get them all to just jump on this red guy, like small soldiers.
Well, he's wearing a lot of armor, so do you want to go?
Get in under his armor and stab him up, boys.
Okay, so these 10 tiny little dragon soldiers, like,
Yeah, I was going to say, what race
this is a
are they, like
concentration spell.
Dragonborn?
Yeah, I guess they'd be dragon.
Yeah, they're very crudely made though.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I've whittled them over
Out
a
of soap.
very long time using my claws. Like,
Yeah.
out of soap? No, it's more durable than that.
So yeah, 10 attack rolls plus
With
6
a-
each.
with a one
So just roll to see
D-
how many hit first. So D20, roll
Yep.
to see if they hit. So first one,
14 plus 6,
Hits.
21.
20.
20.
so that's 1,
14, sorry, 20, yeah. 11 plus 6,
doesn't hit.
20.
That's a natural
20.
20. So can you keep a track of how many, like,
I knew this. I'm going to
I'm
do
doing
it.
it, I'm doing it.
so one's
Okay, yeah.
hit, one natural 20 out of 3.
Yeah.
I'll count how many you've rolled for.
Okay. That's an
That's a
18.
hit.
Yeah.
I'll hit it.
That's a 5.
Miss. Miss.
Natural 1.
Hit.
Okay.
Miss. Miss.
Oh.
One more. Miss.
16, yeah. Okay.
How many hit?
4 hits and one of them's a natural.
So roll 5d8
Yep.
plus 10.
Okay.
5d8 plus 10.
As these little guys are
So
just
many
like.
D8s.
I'm struggling to understand.
How many? I've got a bunch here. So you got 6.
2 more.
No,
You said
it's
5 d8s,
yeah,
right?
5d8s. Yeah, so just
Fine,
roll
I
those.
don't need them.
Oh, okay.
Plus 10.
Okay, so that's,
that's pretty good.
4, so 8, 16, 17, 18, 28 on that.
Plus, oh, is that
But what's important to remember, folks,
They stick around.
this lasts. They
Well,
stick around for like a minute.
it's a concentration spell. So if you
Right,
take
okay.
damage, it may go away.
Okay,
check.
and as a bonus action,
Yes.
I want to use my faithful hound, my Hound of Ill Omen.
Okay.
Oh, that's a
It's a shadow sorcerer.
yeah.
So,
So you spend sorcery points.
get him, Mr. Barky, and I do this, and this shadowy wolf just leaps out, and he's like, "Ruh, ruh," and he jumps
Oh my god.
right on this guy's throat, right?
On the one in the full armor.
in the
Yep,
red, yeah,
yep.
he just goes straight for him and tries
Really?
to
This
grab
guy's
the red
shadowy,
one.
like.
I know I know you guys got this guy under control, and I'm looking at this guy and thinking he's a bad man, so I'm just gonna cover him in like weird shit. So
Okay. So do you have the stats for the direwolf there, or do you want me to? I can give you
don't.
this monster manual.
Yeah. I can find it on here if you want.
No, that's all right.
What's it going to be in Monster Manual?
It's direwolf. I should be able to find it
Yeah.
now. So
It is.
So like 10 toy soldiers were almost the equivalent of a blight.
D&D, everybody. Right,
Have
here
you
you go.
ever
Direwolf.
stood on a
Smith,
Lego
I've got it
brick?
here.
Yeah, shit, you're right.
Like,
So make
yeah.
attack rolls and everything as if it was a direwolf.
Just imagine they're standing on Lego bricks.
I once stood on Lego and passed out.
Like the thing is like they're magically strengthened, so that like when
Yeah,
they
yeah.
strike, it's like hitting.
hitting him right in the nerves.
So that's. What I just literally just add my strength to the
Attack bonus.
Got
Yeah, it should be
attack.
down at actions bite.
Okay, to hit 5, so that's 16.
Not enough, unfortunately. His armor is quite thick. You can see that as it
Okay.
jumps onto it, it just bites into the metal plates.
Yeah, okay.
And I think it just has the one attack, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
So you do that, it bites in, but the kind of Dragonborn is like, get off me! Your little tricks won't save you, Balathis. The one in the black seems to vanish
Oh, here we go.
temporarily.
Crap, I should have hunted Mark him. Then I could have tracked him.
I can
Should've
get
would've
my my dude to sniff him out, I think.
Oh, does he
my,
stay out
My
of them?
wolf.
Well, you don't need to, because he appears behind you as he thrusts a short sword into your side.
Oh no.
That's going to be a 19 to hit.
And that's against my AC, which is
Yes.
14.
14! Oh,
I'm a really weak boy, guys.
He's all about tricks.
Not good.
15.
So you've
That's
taken
going to
damage.
be 19 points of damage
Okay.
as he thrusts his short sword into you. And then
soldiers.
with the other hand, he pulls out a hand crossbow. And he's going to take a few shots at probably Korak because he's blinded. So he has advantage against him.
So they have multi-shot as well.
This one does seem to have the same sort of format of like multiple bolts.
This was a Ferrohorn patented crossbow.
Well, it was for the Dawn Republic.
Oh.
So you see
Nothing here.
2 bolts thud into Korak's side, and he's just kind of like, where are they? And he's like looking around. We go back up
You
to
said you could have taken out the one like
Jiutou.
who's blind.
Jiutou.
Okay, so the white one is all chicken now, right?
Yes, he is currently a chicken.
Okay, and is anyone looking to threaten Yuan Yang?
The red one, the blue one, yeah, everybody looks at it, but she's kind of backing away as best she can. Probably at the end of her turn, she scampers up onto this balcony and is basically like pressed up against the wall. They're not immediately moving on her because it looks like she's been dealt with, so.
Okay. I'm gonna turn all of my anger onto the blue guy
Okay,
and just start laying into him.
okay. I've also just realised the time, we're probably going to have to finish this.
Combat rollover.
In fact, actually, this is the end. This is the current start of the
Yeah.
turn. It's probably a good idea to finish it here,
Okay.
and then we're going to have to wrap this. We're gonna
Yeah,
have to finish
I'll
this
do
week,
the same
unfortunately.
next time. I'll just start.
Yeah,
off
we'll have
with
to take a
taking the
picture
shit
and
out
keep
of
this for next time because we've got 10 minutes to read some donos.
Cool.
Yeah, and if you can't make it next week, it's fine. I can play Balathis just for this
Do
combat.
you
if
want
need be.
to micromanage my little army?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Fucking-
You would have needed to make a concentration.
Yes, in fact, let's do that as the last thing. So it's a Constitution saving throw, basically.
Yeah.
Fine. You manage
And
like
I've also got +4 to
you get stabbed and you're like.
Ooh, stinger!
Nice. There's the D8 back. I don't know who that was. Yeah. So great. Well, we will have to wrap up this little battle in ZU next time, as it started a little bit later. I mean, I can.
Nothing is sacred.
What, you thought that like a little secret village of tiefling slaves wasn't going to get noticed?
I was being careful!
Yes, you were. Yeah, you absolutely were. And then you left.
And they started doing raids.
Incompetent people.
Oh wait, I just heard your little consequences.
I don't suppose like Trot or somebody wants to move that middle camera because I don't think it's being used.
I'm not
and
touching
I
it 'cause I'll
can't
break
see
it.
that
I'll do it.
at all. I can read some of these. Nightjar, thank you very much for your donation. A little heart message.
you.
Thank you very much. Ola Renve donated with no message. Thank you very much. Dancing on Fire has donated. I don't really have anything to say this week, so hi guys. Welcome Smith and have fun storming Bresseras.
Thank
you very much. The Nord's House donated. Unable to watch the stream live, so I better wait for the VOD. Thank you very much.
Good idea.
Good idea. Vivid Sound donated. Sad that Katie couldn't be here. I'm really glad you guys were able to get Trot's other lover in to console him and keep him in check. Kappa.
There he is.
Don't touch him.
No touching.
Got to fuel the fanfics. Kim's
Lord-
running that material.
Right? So dry.
Lord Wiggy, Lord Wiggy, have returned with more ducats to be thrown at you plebs. I also wish to hire this new hairy, lush male servant you have found. P.S. Trot isn't a twat today, he's a bellend. Smith and Tom can be the twats today. There you go.
Thank you.
And then Casual Gamer Guy donated, thank you very much. Just wanted to show my support. The one thing you might want to add, and I'm sure Smithy will agree, are more ballistic shields on your weapons. Keep up the great work, all of you. Thank you very much, Casual.
Nice.
Do you want to take over Rinsum Smith? We generally go around here.
Can do. Welcome to the party, Smithy. That's from Dabadees. Thank you, Dabadees. Dabada. Brewing Scribe donated. Awesome session as always, everybody. Nice to finally see Smithy guest on the show. Question for Trot. Does Cam know that grape juice is a thing? How much does he drink daily? Here's to wishing I lived in California so I could go to the D&D live show.
I mean, he's put enough in his mouth to make juice, so I guess in a roundabout way.
But he doesn't
figure it
drink
out.
grape
Doesn't
juice
drink it.
generally, no. Okay.
Do you want me to keep reading?
Yeah, just read like two more and then we'll pass it over to Trot.
Dancing on Fire. Discord wants to know, did Kim come up with all the tiefling names for Mark? And did you have to teach him how to pronounce all of them? Also, a PSA to all the American viewers that today is Mother's Day, so don't forget to show your mum some love today.
But it's not Mother's
Show her
Day
love every
in Europe.
day.
And
her
also,
love
yeah,
every day.
do that.
Did you?
I came up with a name for Yuan Yang and CEO, but Saito is all yours,
Yeah.
and I don't think I
I don't
know.
think that's been a
Oh, my parents and stuff like that. But...
Yeah.
What about Guan Yin?
Oh yeah, but
Guan-
that's
No, Guan Yin I came. That was a
we-
historical figure.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Guan
It's like
Yin
a-
is the goddess of mercy in Chinese mythology. So
That was it.
Answered.
Right, Trot.
All right. Is that time?
Metamanu.
Metamanu.
That's there's
Meta Manu donated. Thank you for your kind donation. Hi, guys, nice to see Smith as a guest. Very promising. I can't wait to see what the last arc will bring us. As always, love the show. And as I type this, the hand of Tiamat appears. Great fight! And we did. Yep. And Ace of Thorns. So it begins, laying the smackdown in Dragontown. These guys are in for a shock. Also, Smith hasn't been watching long enough. Enough long movies.
Yeah.
Hashtag Bladderboy. All right.
It wasn't the bladder was the issue.
No, it was an unexpected
it was the
egg.
other bit.
Don't call it an egg. That's so disgusting.
Someone sit him down in front of the whole run of Marvel movies. Hashtag joke, hugs, hi, Kim Pie.
Hello.
I'll pass it over because I think there's.
I don't think there's that many.
The Sin Demon has donated. Go, go, Dragonborn Rangers! Sorry, I couldn't help it. I know it's a pretty obvious joke. Anyway, thanks for another awesome episode, and I'm looking forward
It
to
is
where this
very
arc
dragon-
takes us.
Oh, Tiamat has 5 heads, each one a different coloured dragon. Like
There you go.
Thank you
Stolen
to
from Paris.
Notlix1. Another great one, you guys. Thanks. Poor Jiutou. They were having a special moment, and then Mark sends the mighty Morphin Dragonborn assassins.
Nice.
You can take it.
Ozchi Kun, hey guys, how are you? I never know what to say in these messages, but love you all and keep up the great work. Thank you very
Thank
much. Captain Ginger Keen, hey guys, hoping you are well. High Rollers has helped me through many things. The latest recovering from being spiked Friday night and waking up in
Jesus.
hospital, badly worse for wear.
So sorry that happened.
Doing better now, and this is a perfect way to spend my recovery. Much love.
Love to you.
Hey, at least you were worth being spiked, though, am I right?
Nice. Sensitive.
Darth
He
Dave,
does not speak for us.
he is not affiliated.
Darth Dave 41, thank you very much. Brilliant. How about a one-shot with the adventures of Mr. Barky and the wee minions?
Fucking anime
Yeah.
objects.
Wow.
And then
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no, not a hun tent. Mugen22. Wanted to thank you guys for inspiring me to finally try and get a group together to play some D&D together. None of us have played before, but everyone in the group has been really excited to try, and I'm really looking forward to it. Keep being great. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much for your donation.
Cheers. That's very generous.
Varys donated, no message, thank you very much. Bandai Nenzai donated. Hi Rollers, good to have you on board the crew Smithy. Balithus is a very interesting character. Looking forward to how this Jiutou and Adrik arc will unfold. Today was a cool scene setting. Good luck smashing those evil Dragonborn Power Rangers. Thank you very much. And then I think we should give this one to our good friend Mr. Smith. You should read.
You have to do it in very outrageous.
Yeah, it has to be like very. You have to really go for it.
This is the last donation of the night, but things from Awkward Dog Boner.
Nice.
This week's boner rating is a stiffy for Smithy, 420. Good job, mad lad. Balithus secreting Adrik. Raging hard on moment. Foreign weapons. Cam should show them his curved sword. Erection rejection moment. While the grunk's away, Rainy and Cam will play. Hashtag bone on Sunday.
Very
Phone
nice.
on Sunday.
Welcome to High Rollers.
it, that's
This
it.
Is that a common
He almost
Get
every
rated.
single
every
time.
week.
He'll pick out the most sexually appropriate moment.
There you go.
Dancing on Fire donated again.
Dancing on Fire, thank you very much. Well, we both lost the Tiefling name bet, so here's my half. Oh, there you go.
Damn.
Thank you very much.
I like
Well,
that kind of bet.
Yeah. More
Thank
of
you very much for checking out High Rollers. We'll be back next week. Keep an eye on High Rollers Twitter for all news about stores and shirts and all of that good
Dice.
stuff and dice. And we will see you hopefully next time.
Yes.
Tatty
Thanks for
bye,
watching.
lovers.
Goodbye.
Looking at-
Bye bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.